Oh,
Well, we'll
my
be
bad.
starting soon. What are you saying there, Captain?
My hero. I am All
Mhm.
Might, right? I'm not just saying that for me.
Yeah.
Max is Aizawa.
Pissed off, doesn't want to be there, and all he wants to do is take a nap. I
If you're
believe
calling
it.
me the bubble-headed one, I'll
No,
kill
you
you.
know, I'm like, I've had other people say Todoroki Aizawa is definitely more accurate
Yeah.
because I can't tell you how many different games I've played, specifically stuff like Dark Souls or whatever, where
Right.
I'm like, oh, the big meta thing is to use a bunch of magic and like basically not fight fair. I'm gonna make everybody fight fair, and I'm gonna use like Vow of Silence and shit, and just turn off all their buffs and stuff. And
I've
that's
sat here.
exactly what Aizawa does.
I fucking sat
You're
here
the
and thought about
tired
who every
teacher?
character is already. Everybody in our little group is in My Hero. Max is Aizawa. PJ is Denki. Because,
I would say Jack is
Who's
Kirishima.
Denki?
Yeah, Jack is absolutely Kirishima.
Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Hutch is Tokoyami.
I guess. I
Revelry
don't
in
know
the
enough
Dark.
about him.
I don't know.
He's
a lot about
he's
Tokyo.
as quiet as him.
Who's the
and
guy
he
with the
acts
jet
like-
legs?
The jet legs? Ida?
Yeah. That's what it is.
We don't
right?
have
He has
anybody
jet
like
legs?
No,
Okay.
we
Yeah,
don't.
we don't have anybody who's on the straight and narrow like that.
All right, who's the sticky
Not-
bubble
not-
kid?
Not at all.
Sticky bubble.
Amal's
Cool kid?
Bakugo.
We don't have
Yeah.
that either.
I don't think.
Amal is absolutely 110% Bakugo.
Fuck you for caring about me. Fucking die. But what? Hold on.
Do myself!
Like, only people that have hung out with him for a really long time figure out that he just sounds really angry all the time, and inside he's actually just a big softie.
You know what? Piss off. You
Okay,
can't
Maybe
kill
he's
me
not
well enough.
Bakugo,
I'll just
because
do it
Bakugo
myself.
is not a big softie.
I mean,
Say what?
eventually.
I mean, that's his arc, is
Yeah.
stop being an asshole. But he's still an asshole.
Longest character arc ever.
Stop
Yeah.
being an asshole for the wrong
We're gonna
reason.
like get caught up, you know, after all of this wonderful backtracking of time, and he's still gonna be an asshole. It's just gonna continue, and then it's gonna turn into Bakugo's story about him not being an asshole.
He's basically like Vegeta, isn't he?
He's a Vegeta without Bulma.
A Vegeta
Yeah.
without Bulma.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess. Like, I feel like Vegeta
Like, he'll
is more
fight.
is more refined in his pride.
Right.
Yeah, no. Amal will fight for our side, like, as long as he's not too busy doing his own thing, basically. And if he's too busy doing his own thing and you try to bother him with anything at all, he lumps you in with the problem.
Dang.
Sandblaze is Sato.
Yeah.
Which one is that guy?
That's the guy with the tape, right?
No,
No.
that's Sero. Sato is the guy who eats sugar and then gets super buff when he eats sugar.
Oh,
And he
yeah,
just-
yeah.
He spends the entire
Wait.
anime being a dude, bro.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's really nice. He's really good at baking. He keeps pets,
He's
but
huge.
he will lay anybody the fuck out.
Yes.
So he eats
His-
sugar
his-
and gets superpowers?
Yeah, his
It's
ability is
sugar.
called Sugar Rush.
Yeah.
So his solution to try to pass his final exam was to eat sugar to punch through metal walls that kept forming. Sorry, concrete.
Concrete.
Kinda
And
reminds
when it
me
was
of the
clear
guy
that
with the
wasn't going to
chips.
work, he kept doing it because he refused to believe it wouldn't work.
That and
Wow.
he loses cognitive functions the more.
Wait a
No,
second.
no, he doesn't.
No,
Are
he
you
doesn't.
telling
That's Denki.
That's Denki. That's you.
I
He
thought
hulks out on sugar?
He doesn't Hulk out. He doesn't lose
Weirdo.
cognitive function. That
what's
doesn't
the
happen.
drawback
Oh.
then?
The
He
drawback
loses
is that
energy.
Yeah,
It's a
the
sugar
drawback
rush. You
is-
crash.
Yeah,
Sugar crash.
exactly.
Oh,
Oh, wow. Okay.
huh.
Come
I
on.
was swinging at another one. Oh well.
No, if he eats too much, he will literally just pass out.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, that's
Yeah.
understandable.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the Aizawa. Yeah, it's just like, nope, fuck you and your powers. Fight me, man. Fight me one on one,
the-
hand to hand.
Not
Let's
even
go.
that.
You're the guy
He
with
was-
the... You're the teacher who's tired all the time.
Yes.
Also,
Problem
that.
child.
I could literally... Like, when I imagine you teaching an English class, I totally see you like that.
No.
No, blowing up the furniture is bad. Stop
Yeah,
it,
that's right.
little shit.
All right. Well, we have our D&D to get to.
Yep.
Let's do it.
So you had the whole session of beating the absolute shit out of more spikes than you've ever been in contact with at the same time in your entire lives. Also in
I
the
took
entire
down a
campaign.
spire.
You did get the finishing blow on a spire, yeah.
I did get the finishing blow, yes. And
Uh,
I smashed
those
its skin
crits
off
might
of
have
it.
helped.
Yes.
Who's
It was
typing?
fun. I think it's
No.
Max.
Yo, it's me, your boy.
Yeah,
Got mechanical keyboard?
I have
Penny
a
penis.
I have a headset now, so you shouldn't be able to hear me type.
Oh, okay.
It's been like that for a while.
No, you're fine. I was
what?
just wondering if like somebody upgraded. I'm like, wow. I mean, he did. He got a new keyboard. Sorry.
Nice.
Anyway,
On
so
the stream too.
you're all standing amidst the rubble, and the other team of hunters is just kind of like looking over. You get a couple of like acknowledging nods, and they start going back to where essentially the camp was to the south.
All right.
Sarah's just gonna come over to look at the remains of the spire. You said that was a spire that you fought before.
Hey.
It was a long time ago.
Did you just kill it in 2 swings?
Generally speaking, yeah.
I don't think, generally speaking, anyone has ever killed a spire that quickly.
Well,
He
I'm
had
just
help.
feeling it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was on the other side fighting a lance. All I saw were the giant swings.
Oh, well, he flexes. I'll say a little bit there.
It's impressive.
Thank you. But
Yeah, someone
I
has to
must
compliment him
deny your
eventually.
affections. I have someone I'm waiting for.
She's just gonna
She's not
blink.
coming on to you.
She's just gonna blink. Clearly confused by what you just said.
No wonder you getting shot in the head didn't kill you. You're
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
your skull's too
thick-headed.
thick.
You're lucky I like you, elf girl.
You're lucky I like you.
Tolerate.
You're gonna be lucky you're not them. Point over to the other group of spikes.
You might want to save some of that luck for later.
Yeah, there is still like a group somewhat nearby off to the west, but they're not really close enough to be affected by the sympathy, so they haven't come this way.
Well, I'm feeling better about what I can do. How about you guys?
I'm really glad that the barrier thing worked as well as I thought it would.
Yeah, what the fuck? How?
It's technically 2 spells put together. It's really weird. It's probably not something I would be able to do if we hadn't, gone through that whole trip. But
Well, that's gonna be very useful. It was very useful. I didn't even get hit.
You're gonna see Varian basically clasp his hands together and start casting something.
All right, what
so
else?
just
you
kind of
got?
like stops.
Oh,
and, like,
what you up
looks
to,
over.
Bagman?
What are you doing?
Trying a little something. They're pretty much together over there. So, let's see.
If there was ever a time to experiment, this is it.
Up to Bagman.
Read.
Are you going to blow them up more?
No, you're gonna start to see gray clouds forming and swirling over them.
It's
Are
already
you
kinda-
making a
it-
tornado?
so- It's already kind of overcast, right? Like there's at least like some light cloud cover. It's a bit of a gray day, but like it hasn't actually rained. There's pretty much going to be like this concentration of clouds that starts to come together and hang a bit lower, almost like a bulb that you would expect like a tornado to come down out of, and it like turns this dark blue swirling into like a dark purple. Looks really angry.
Maybe you should save that one.
Oh, that looks particular.
Last time
What does it do?
sca-
Diary looks excited. What does it do?
last time I checked, that scared away Zoe. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, you still have the fucking ring. I forgot about that thing.
You always forget about it.
I never forgot about it before. I don't know what you're talking about. I just thought it was a bad idea, a bad time to do it. You're not gonna outmemory me, Caillou. Or me. Yeah, or her.
I don't know enough about her yet.
It's a monk thing,
Ah,
I think.
that
Is
explains
it a
a little.
monk? Is it a monk thing? Sorry, just shrugs. We're gonna go with it. It's a monk thing.
So, as this cloud forms, because this is the spell inside the little sphere or like crystal that Caillou's been holding on to. That first lightning strike that comes down from the cloud, most of the spikes do seem to be pretty unaffected. Like a lot of them kind of like cover their ears and like look around, and like some of them seem to be confused. Some of them are starting to look up. A couple of them seem to be disoriented by it. And then it starts to rain just directly over them. And any of them that were just kind of confused before start trying to run. And very unnaturally, a ton of lightning just starts striking down from the cloud, following the rain down and just basically smiting them as they try to escape the range. After a couple of seconds, hail starts to come down instead of rain. And this little localized storm just continues to get worse. Until finally, the spikes that were in the area originally are kind of just all reduced to rubble, and there is just some wind and rain coming down for the last couple of seconds. And the clouds very slowly after start to like unwind and disperse back into the overcast sky. And it looks sort of like the battleground that you all just created, except with nobody standing around.
With that, a clasp of his hands, and it's done.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
glad you didn't open up with that.
Yeah, the whole thing lasts only a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's shorter than what you sent me.
Diary's clapping.
Or wait, no, it isn't. Never mind.
Zelda just gonna like point over at like the pile of rubble that used to be spikes and just look over. Yeah, I can't do that.
Oh yeah,
I think.
I can do that. It might take me more than a minute, but I could.
I think
I can only do that once.
Captain, do you see that shit? I don't think you should threaten. I don't think you should try to threaten Farion ever. I'm not going to fuck that
I've
shit.
never threatened him anyhow.
Brag.
You kind of did once, but
Well, to be fair, that was early on in our
you would
relationship.
remember that.
I remember that.
I mean, yeah, maybe don't treat him poorly. He's a nice bug. He's a nice Farian caster, druid person. Don't hurt me.
I'm not
Captain
gonna.
looks over at Farion. Don't think I'm not calling you a bug man. I don't care what cloud you call on me.
What if he stopped being a bug?
Nature is scary. Twice a day.
You
Can you
make
do
a
that
good
twice?
point. You can do that twice.
Oh,
Hmm.
the other one was to make Caillou just rather.
Why didn't you do that when the fight started?
can
That looks
spoil
like
the
it would
fun-
hit us.
Can spoil the fun for the rest of us. No.
Yeah, I'm with Farion. I needed the practice. I'm not used to that thing. Statue waves.
With the sword or the shield?
The shield.
Make it less threatening.
More just gives it a thumbs up.
You know, at this
I like
point, all of like Zelda's magic is kind of dispersed as well, and so she's just kind of back to, standing around in her normal whatever claws retracted, and just
She was wearing different clothes?
No.
Did I miss that?
No, just like with all the glowing and whatnot is what I'm saying.
Oh,
Like that's
okay.
not there anymore. She's just there.
I only used half of my key, guys. I could have still made a copy of myself and put the raiment back on it if I wanted to. Oh yeah, I'm wearing a new raiment.
Noticed.
Caillou, warping's fun. Why didn't you tell me?
Because you usually move faster than that.
Then instant transportation?
I didn't see how
I
that's
can only do it
possible.
short distances. And only when it's kind of dark.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's complicated.
That's disappointing. Never asked about that. You didn't put in my book.
You saw me do that.
Do
But you didn't put it in the book.
Do I need to update the book?
That might
Mork.
take a while.
Mork throws his book at Fairy. Cherry, you next. What? I have a book. You've always had a book. I want to know what you can do. You know what?
It's a new
Whatever.
book.
It's this. Oh yeah, it is a new book. All right. Don't expect anything able to level an entire field of spikes, though. I mean, I can't do it. So, good work, team. Let's go back.
You all go to leave. Some of the hunters from the group of Mazak kind of come over and pretty much completely ignore most of you, but they walk right up to Farian, and the two of them kind of bow their heads. And first, they're both from the same clan. You can tell that much. They have sort of an ash gray skin with just the faintest hint of purple in it. Like all Mazak, they have completely black eyes. They're not using any magic. They're also not very emotional, so you can't see what color their eyes actually are.
Yeah.
And both of them kind of have long, scraggly hair, almost like a mop of hair on their head, only about shoulder length. And they have horns that come out from just ahead of the ears, like right near the temple, I suppose. Curve out of the head and then go straight up, almost as high as their arms can reach. They're big,
okay.
thick horns, and of any of the Mazak that have shown up, this particular clan has the largest horns. And the two of them bow their heads. I see that the magic of our clan has reached the fingers and capabilities of those who are not of our blood. That was quite an impressive storm.
Oh.
I did not
Very
know
on.
that was...
You got Mazak magic now?
I suppose?
Good shit.
I did not know that.
No, you know what? Never mind.
I didn't know it was exactly Mazak magic. No?
It is Shintoku.
Okay.
Oh, I read about those guys.
Huh.
Yeah,
Well.
these two are Shintoku hunters.
I'll be.
Aren't you guys famous for hunting down mana beasts or something?
Every 100 moons or so, there is a particularly powerful mana beast that appears, and it is traditionally our clan's job to be the cornerstone of that hunting party. Without our raw strength, it is exceedingly difficult to bring them down. You may liken them to the spires that appear in this continent.
Huh.
Ho-ho.
And you guys just
Okay.
specialize in beating the shit out of those things, huh? I dig it.
With the help of our clans, yes.
Oh, interesting.
Well,
And they kind of like look at each other, and the other one kind of like tilts her head, and I believe together.
Roshi's out. I'm out.
Nice. That together we have defeated 40? And the other one kind of nods, and 40 sounds right.
40
Did you...
spire-sized threats.
oh.
Hmm.
Oh.
That's
Two.
impressive.
Well, look at that,
And
Farion.
three?
You have
Like
the perfect counter to spires.
And then one of them kind of like brings his hand out, like lowers his head so that he's kind of like looking from his shoulder down his arm to his hand, and like palm back at the hand, or like to the left and right, so he's almost got like a knife hand out, and he kind of looks down and seems like he's aiming across the crater, and then he raises his hand over his head and slashes his hand down, and very similar to Farion, a bolt of lightning comes out of these very thin, overcast clouds, strikes a spike, and it just explodes. And he
Dead on
lowers his
accuracy.
hand and like nods and says, "Just to prove that we're not here simply to flatter you."
Hey,
In another
that's,
life, I would have learned
flattering
magic. What if in another life I did learn magic?
Yeah, that won't matter.
I mean, I could ask the mana.
You probably
that's
would have
fair.
stayed in your temple for longer, which means you probably wouldn't have met the rest of us.
Yeah, probably. Unless somebody gave me something to fucking do.
Well,
I'm gonna go on a limb and say my past life sucked, so.
matters now is the lives we have. The ones
Hey,
we
that's
saved.
true.
I don't know. My past life tried to stop racism and died in the attempt.
I thought he died succeeding.
He was still attempting.
That's fair.
Hmm.
And the two Muzak kind of like bow, and like without really saying much of anything, they kind of turn to go follow the rest of the hunters.
Be safe. Be well.
Certainly. It will be our job to watch this crater while the rest of you go in. Good luck.
You as well. Analyst feeling a little bit better now? About our chances?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel better after seeing
I already was.
that.
I
I feel a little
mean,
better.
we have some capable people here to watch our backs. You know, we're a lot stronger than we've ever been. A lot stronger than we expected to be.
That's for certain.
I think we'll be fine.
I must say, if you are unable to defeat this Zoe, I do not like the chances that the rest of this continent has. Just bring down the mood there, Sayuri. Jeez. Being
Yeah,
honest.
she has a point.
Thought I
Being
made
honest.
the honest.
Well,
Would you rather I lie?
You could just not say it.
Aye.
But then you wouldn't know it.
We do know it,
Oh,
kind of. It's
Sort of.
weird.
Yeah.
she speaks her mind. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Well,
You want to try to arm wrestle my statue?
You know what? That sounds fantastic. But to be fair, I do pretty well against rock things. What if I break it?
I'll just make another one.
Fair enough. Come here, Rockman.
I mean, if you really want to do this, roll contested strength,
Oh boy.
which is
I
to
don't know,
say
it's
I will
gonna
roll
have
the
to-
strength.
I don't know its
Yeah,
strength
that's right.
stat, but it's gonna very excitedly drop the weapons, get down at your level, and just like get its arms ready.
All right. Captain stands and shakes out a bit.
I would use its bonus to hit.
All right.
Plus 10.
Yeah.
What's his? 20?
No.
All right, I'll roll it. Oh wait, wait, were you doing it or was I doing it?
No, we.
Oh,
it's
he did
contested
it.
Strength.
He did
Yeah,
it,
he,
right?
he did it. Yeah. I
There
just
it
have to roll
is.
for him.
So,
You did.
It gets down to your level, right?
Not a curb stomp,
Mhm.
by the way.
Yeah,
It's
no,
very
and-
close.
Yeah,
Very close.
It's a really good battle. Like you sit there for a good
Okay.
couple of seconds, and it seems like neither one of you is going to budge, and very slowly, Captain starts to win. And once he gets enough leverage that he can kind of push the advantage, he just like very slowly and deliberately puts the back of its hand on the dirt. Like there is no like sudden slam or anything. It is very close.
Holy hell.
How you like that, Rocky boy?
Nice.
The statue bows.
Zoda just kind of like closes her hand and then just kind of like throws out one, like both their hands just kind of like off to the side in the captain's direction, and like a couple of like flower petals just kind of appear in the air over his head and flutter down almost like confetti. Just
Captain raises his arms.
Nicely done, Captain.
Breathes a,
Now I
breathes
feel
a pedal
even
in his nose.
better.
Well, I make it. Oh,
well, I can't say that I'm tapped out. Actually, I feel great still. Like I could
Are
keep
you-
going.
Yeah, I used about
But-
half of what I had there.
She just kind of like points up at her face. I think I might have used like 10-15%.
Same.
Wow.
On that final swing there, I barely broke a split.
I mean, you were kind of the one being chased around a lot, so you had to stay moving and
I could still do anything I wanted with my raiment, but any of my more taxing things?
yeah, I think maybe if we go into a fight we have to take more seriously, try and pace yourself just a little bit better.
I
yeah.
wanted to see what I could do.
Fair.
Also, a spire showed up. I panicked. Just
Well,
a
we're
bit.
probably going to be fighting something even scarier than a spire, so
Well, I think that
Alright.
level of... Yeah, no, you're right.
I'll try and
So,
stay
even
as
if I-
close to you guys as I can when the whole thing gets started.
Well, even if I use all of my ki, I can still maintain the raiment and the statue for as long as I want. Well, actually, I'm not sure what the limit is on the statue, but I can still function without it.
It's probably plenty long enough.
All right.
The worst case scenario is if it breaks. I don't think I could have enough in me to summon a second one very quickly. Takes a lot out of me to do it.
Well, I mean, it's supposedly like some really advanced thing that only humans can do, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, makes sense.
I'm not saying it as like to demoralize myself or anyone else. It's just a fact.
Well, it's important to know.
I'm not even sure what happens if it breaks, to be honest. I just know I can keep summoning the damn thing. I'm just eyeing the captain's Kanobu.
What are you looking
Who's
at?
got you doing it too?
Kanabo. Well, I've only ever desummoned it. I'm just curious what would happen if it actually broke.
Are
We
you asking
won't
the captain
find
to
out.
break it?
I'm asking anyone to break it.
Try it. Help me or not.
It's just gonna stand there and stare at everyone. I'll try to fight back. Go for it. I need. This is something that we need to know as soon as possible.
Okay.
As
I don't
long
want-
as long as
So
I
I'm
get
just
to
gonna-
rest after.
Okay, hold on. What do you need to learn?
I know. I
Just-
I can take care. Hang on. I can take care of this without really like exerting myself at all. Okay, just give me a couple seconds. And she's just gonna kind of like hold out a hand, and the thing is going to light on like white fire.
It doesn't react.
Yeah, she's basically going to start using Sacred Flame every turn, and it's just going to burn up until it disappears. So it takes roughly a minute or so.
Oh, I was
For the
gonna cast
thing to
Emotion.
Oh, I could have probably just.
I know she's
done
just
it
sitting there using a cantrip.
I
Oh,
could have probably just done it instantly.
You can. I don't think so.
I could literally be sitting there with the fire spear, just shooting fireballs at it via
Or is that-
firebolt.
is that- Just let me ask you: is that thing connected to you, or is it a completely separate thing?
When my raiments leave my body, it is still connected to me, but I am not harmed if any harm comes to them. So I'm assuming that that thing is the same way.
So yeah, I'd have to target it instead of you. Yeah, I wouldn't. Take
Doesn't
that
matter.
long.
Zelda does the thing,
Yep.
and then a flash of green light, it just shatters. And just evaporates. Just stare at it.
Hang on. Where are the things? There are the things further down. So the thing does shatter, sort of disappear, but when it shatters, the shards kind of float in the air for a second and then rush back over to Morik.
Okay. Oh, God!
He's not injured at all, but if he was, that would be a heal for 20 d10 hit points.
Oh,
Then
okay.
In other
Guys, I
words,
feel incredible.
it is technically capable of returning the full energy that it takes to cast it to him.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Guys,
Huh.
guys, I feel incredible right now. I don't know why. I feel all my energy is. Wow.
Oh.
So that stuff basically just temporarily leaves you, and then if it's destroyed, everything that it took to make it goes back to you.
Yeah, huh? I like it.
No wonder people used to think humans were scary.
Oh yeah, there were some humans who could summon dozens of those things.
I've heard
Oh.
those stories.
It's true.
Oh.
There was, I believe it was. What was the largest number? 100?
Oh, no, you mean the star with 49.
Right.
Yeah, that was it.
Still.
Have fun fighting that.
40.
I mean, generally speaking, the more you summon, the less ridiculous they would get. But I don't think that's a very consistent rule.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I just get the one. I don't think that's a big issue, though.
No, it should definitely help. We should probably go back and let everybody know that it was a success and rest up and wait for the military.
Yeah.
Yup. Think I needed to there, so.
I got a good stretch in.
Mark in to try to summon it that he did before, and nothing happened. Yeah. That's gonna take a minute.
It's a one-off thing, huh?
I don't feel that much more tapped out than I normally do. I think if I just rested for a little while, I'd be able to do it again.
Maybe it's tied to your like key techniques.
Maybe. Probably.
Well,
It'll literally just take the short rest.
Yeah.
And then I can do it again.
Jesus. Okay. Well, I have an idea. Go to rest.
Anybody else have something
do-
they want to test out before we're done here?
you guys are probably not gonna like this, but I do have another thing that I want to try, but I'm not gonna try it until the fight starts. Because
Well,
it could
what
go
is
either
it?
way.
And you only do it once?
Okay.
I think I can only do it once a day. And
Alright.
I'm not perfectly sure that it's even going to work. But we've spent a lot of time around spikes. And I think I can sway one.
Say again.
Oh, you can do what I can?
What?
You can
Not-
sway spikes?
Not like you, Caillou. I have 2 trump cards that I'm gonna try and use. One of them is probably going to be easy, and then it just kind of depends on whether or not, the thing that I kind of summon to us wants to help. And then the other thing I've never tried before. Because if I do try, and I try the way that I want to try, I might start a really big fight, and this is not the time for that. So I'm basically just going to wait for the right moment, and I'm going to use both of those spells, and one of them is going to be good one way or the other, and the other is either going to be good or do nothing. So
You don't have to be cryptic, you can just tell us what it does.
I might be able to summon my spike and have it fight for me.
Okay!
Nice.
That sounds pretty
That-
good.
Sketchy.
You know what? Do you think you'd be able to do a spire?
Mine is a spire.
Never mind.
Well,
Yeah, here
This
I
is
was just
good.
about
I trust you, Zella. I think you can do it.
Yeah, even if it does turn bad like you think it will, I can probably try and take it over instead.
Well, it's not that it would turn bad, it's just it might just choose not to come.
Oh,
You're giving it an option?
No, but if it's strong enough to resist the spell, then
Oh.
there's nothing I can do.
its fear might be greater than its forced obedience.
I mean,
Something
let's
like
be
that, I
honest here. If it
guess.
shows up, we're killing it afterwards. Either way. Right?
Right.
Saves us the trouble of hunting it down, helps us fight,
Zoe, potentially.
so we,
Oh,
the other thing that I'm thinking is summoning Wasabo.
That I was going to suggest.
What's the use of it?
Well, they're 2 different spells. Busabo is one of the guardians from the temples. It was the Temple of Darkness right before we met you.
Zelda,
Yeah?
I don't think you need to use a spell for that. Remember the jar?
Yeah, you still have the steel rose.
Flower.
Well,
Oh,
yeah. I have that. I can, talk with him through it, but... Oh, yeah, I
I
could just
thought-
ask him if he would be willing.
I was about to
Yeah.
say, I thought he told you you could call him once using that.
He gave you the option to summon him for help?
Well, no. He told us to hang on to it so he would know where we were, and if he thought we needed his help, he would show up. So I'm basically just going to take the initiative to ask him to come.
I assume he would. We have the mana coming to help. It would be weird if a guardian willing or even considering doing so would just choose not to in such a situation.
Hey, that makes sense.
Teach their own, but still. Eh.
I don't think... Do you think that the Guardians, all of them, would actually show up here? Is it...
Maybe not
mean-
maybe not that one that was also
Not the wind one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be... I would assume that they would. I would like to think that they would, but... I don't know.
They are, if I remember correctly, they are bound to their temples. At least the water one was.
I have an idea. How about we just ask the mana?
That's a good
And
question.
she just
That's
kind
a
of
good idea.
pauses. She just kind of pauses for a second, and like focuses a little bit, and then, mana, can the Guardians show up here? And if they can, would they? Is this something that would actually be dangerous enough for them to show up to help? And she kind of pauses and seems like she's like listening to something. And she kind of shrugs. Musabo's the only one who's even allowed to leave his temple.
That's what I figured.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, apparently, like, he wanders around on the other continent sometimes. And people used to think that the City of Darkness over there was cursed because of that. So he isn't like the other Guardians. He was like raised from the dead, and then before he would have died again, he was made into a Guardian. But he was a living mortal in the first place. I don't know, it's weird. I don't fully understand it. But the other Guardians are like fully tied to their temples, she said. They can't leave.
They're bound.
Alright.
Alright then.
So, cool. I just picked him because I thought, Steel Rose, he offered once. None of the other Guardians ever said anything about helping us.
Seems fair.
Looks at my wooden trinket. Yeah.
That's something.
Go for it. Unless you just want to wait till the day of. Wouldn't surprise
Yeah,
me if that guy could teleport.
I was, pretty much just gonna wait until, like, right before we go in, and then I was gonna kind of do everything at once. I have, like,
Maybe-
4 or 5 different spells I have to cast before I actually start trying to fight Zoe. And it'll be stuff like, the barrier that I put on you, or, like, the death wards, or... I have a lot of preparation. But then once we're actually in the fight, I can't do a whole lot after that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
if it is out in the open, I do have like 2, maybe 3 things I could do before we walk in on the fight. I just wish, someone could cover me. Just to make sure.
If we are, when we do fight, I should probably initiate. I'll give the signal for when you guys can attack.
Why?
What do you
I
have in mind?
think you broke Caillou.
Well, no, hear him out.
I was planning on getting the jump on Zoe.
He can probably sense us.
You
In fact,
want
he
the-
definitely can sense us. That's the whole point of us hunting him down.
Yeah.
Even if he couldn't
Oh.
sense the rest of... Wait. Caillou, you still have your Heartstone in.
Right.
Do you want to not have your Heartstone in?
Ooh, that's good. Can you?
I could probably do that now.
She's absolutely strong enough to do that now.
She
If my
totally
master
made
could
a
do it-
whole new.
If my master can do it, she can do it.
I
Also-
can probably help.
Then
Yeah, we literally just watched Farion magic a new body into existence.
Right.
I-
Yes, please. This would be the best time.
Okay,
And if we
I
need
can
a
do that when
living
we get
relative
back to
this
camp.
time.
We're going to be
Best
less
option.
than a mile from camp. We should probably leave our Heartstones at camp and, like, bury them or something.
Right.
Not a
Yeah.
bad call.
And that way, if for whatever reason we have to run away, we know what direction to run in, because we run, pick up our Heartstones, and keep going.
I don't
Yeah.
like that thought, but yes. Better
we
to be
need to plan
prepared.
for everything.
Yes, exactly. Don't I have a Hearthstone?
Oh yeah, I could probably take yours out too. Wow, I don't know what that would do to you.
Whoa.
Hmm.
Same thing
Well-
you would do to me? She
I don't
passed all the pimples too.
So no, well now I'm trying to think of what else we might be able to do with the Heartstones besides burying them. Do you think we could do you think maybe Preda might keep them safe for us? She's free to move around now. Like we could
If she's
probably
willing
just
to help
ask her
them, yeah.
We could probably just ask her to like sit the fight out and like watch, and if something goes wrong and like we have to run, then she could just follow us.
Yeah.
So she
Yeah,
can
well-
hang back with the military and watch our back, and then if something bad happens, that's a lot safer than burying them.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
That be true.
Okay, so we'll
It
go
would
back to
kind of
camp.
also make
I'll take
her-
out Caillou's Heartstone, Sayuri's Heartstone. We'll gather them all up. We'll give them to Preda. Oh, we could use the that like chest, the one that's still in the cart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we could put him in the chest that's in the cart, lock the chest, give the chest to her. That'll work. Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Yeah, I feel a lot better about that than burying them.
Glad you thought of it. I wouldn't have.
Call it an artifact of misspent youth.
I also have an idea.
Keep them coming.
Antipathy on the safe.
What's that?
Oh yeah. Well, oh yeah. No, we don't want spikes following us in because they're attracted to Morik. That's right. So-
Right.
Okay. Does that last for 10 days, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So that'll probably more than counteract the effect that Heartstones draw spikes to them.
Yeah.
So, okay, that works. Yeah, again, way better than burying them, because I don't think you can cast that spell on, like, dirt.
That's true.
But you could do it on a chest. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. That's way better. So, let's head back.
Sounds like a plan.
Alrighty.
So, you guys head back to camp, and
Yeah.
pretty much the first thing Zelda is going to do is start like setting up, like taking out like her bedroll, setting stuff up, and like preparing to essentially, do magical surgery.
Again.
And so she kind of like, sets everything out and like motions over to Caillou and is like, "I'm gonna do you first because I'm more confident that you'll survive this if I fuck up."
I'll leave mana with you. I'll leave mana with her in order to help the process.
Will that actually help?
Did the last time.
Yeah, it helped before, so
Huh.
I guess last time I wasn't doing this to Caillou, so yeah, this is weird, but we'll make it work. Okay, lie down.
Place down.
Can I watch?
Because you don't throw up on me.
Oh, are you going to literally carve him open?
Not technically.
Sorry, why do you sound more interested than disgusted?
And so like Zelda's pretty much just gonna like shake her head and like look back over at Caillou, like pull his shirt up so she can see his entire chest, and then just gonna kind of like, okay, don't freak out. You're going to sleep. And Caillou just goes to sleep.
Well,
And then
I'll wait outside. You two enjoy your.
she's doing this outside.
I'm gonna go do something else. You two enjoy your female bonding I don't know. War just walks away.
And like Zelda just kind of
Would
like
it be
puts
improper?
her finger on one end, like up near collarbone,
She is
and
paying.
just like the anatomist,
She is not blinking.
just like the not anatomist, oh my god, the physician from any number of the towns that you had visited, Greywell, way out the port city. She pretty much tries to like mimic exactly what they were doing to inspect people, where she just kind of like goes from right up above the collarbone down to the waist,
Mhm.
and just like very thin line cuts him open through bone and everything, and then like reaches in, like grabs the heartstone, and like it's probably one of the few final stage heartstones you've ever seen. It's not made of stone anymore. It looks like a giant, like rough cut ruby with the same design carved into it.
Oh.
So she like picks this thing up and like has to basically pull it off of all of the like veins and arteries that it's attached to. It pulls free. She sets it down and immediately like puts both her hands on Caillou's arms, and he just kind of like stitches right back up. And she kind of pauses for a second, like looks him over, puts a hand on his neck, and then kind of really lightly just taps him on the forehead, and he wakes up. And she like reaches over to the heartstone and like holds it up to him and like, here you go.
Oh, whoa. Thank you. Wow.
Why does his
Captain
look
turns.
different? None of that
I'm gonna
phased
go.
her at all. She is just curious. Why does his look so much different?
Yours should look about the same.
Really?
Well,
Then why is
No, actually-
yours a ruby when theirs were stones?
because they got theirs pulled out early.
Yeah, he left his in for some weird logic way back when we were getting them all taken out. It was Master
Captain comes
Pariah.
back in. Okay.
The master
Okay,
did
I'm
it?
good.
Yeah, Master Pariah said that he had like cleared all the temples before, and he'd been trying to research these things for a long time, and he'd figured out a way to remove his, so he did it for those of us that volunteered.
And she's just nodding,
Yeah.
right? And
Yours
since
is actually
few people have actually cleared these temples, you would not have been able to speak of it, right? Or was that just the city of spikes?
That's
That
just
was
the city.
Hmm.
Also, apparently removing the heartstone ahead of time prevents it from getting any worse. So, if you had gotten yours removed before you went through a bunch of those temples, then you probably wouldn't have had to suffer through as many hallucinations.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, so... But we
Oh,
can take
they've
care of that
stopped
now.
Okay, she's just gonna lay down, kind of eagerly.
I'm expecting hers to look very colorful.
And,
If you-
so
if you
Zelda
don't-
kind of just...
If you don't mind, I would prefer if you weren't looking.
Oh,
Okay.
alright, well, Captain walks out.
I'll still wink mana.
Well,
I mean,
Zelda won't shoot you.
Still outside, doesn't have any real curtains to draw.
Captain walks off.
You got from really far away. Do you guys need cover?
Zelda just kind of like, no, all you guys just kind of move, and she
I can
like
make a statue.
she puts her hand on the ground right next to the bedroll, and like what are basically thick dirt walls kind of come up around the two of them.
Oh,
Oh,
well, that works.
okay then.
Yeah, she
Huh.
has stone shape.
I could have just cast Major Image.
She didn't know that, so
Well,
you're not
I
in
did
there
not-
anymore
It's
anyway.
Well, then
dirty
I'll
fool.
go take care of it.
The whole bit was I was supposed to be linking mana with Zelda in order to make this a bit easier for her.
You can
I-
fucking
I
put
mean,
it over the wall. It's
I know it's not
like
I know it's like spry level.
Yeah, no. At this point, she's basically using like 6th or higher level like healing magic to do this, when before she was working with like 1st and 2nd.
Yeah.
So we're talking magnitudes of power difference.
I know.
So pretty much the same process. Puts her to sleep, like splits her open, and goes to pull out the Heartstone, and it's still made of stone. It still has the design, and the design is glowing very brightly, but it does not look like Kayu's. And so by the time she stitches Sayuri back up and lowers the walls, when the walls lower, Zelda's just kind of like holding the stone and like looks really confused.
Sayuri's going to sit up and stare at it, and she's gonna look disappointed. Why is this a stone?
Yeah, that's about as colorful as I imagined it.
Oh, she's gonna like look over at Kayu and like, didn't we saw Master Pariah's stone? It was still a stone like this.
I have a theory. These things change as you got stronger, correct?
Right.
Mhm.
Didn't Kayu had his in after the soul burning or soul transfer?
Oh,
Do you think that had something to do with the Heartstone?
Oh yeah, it probably did.
possibly. That's
So Kayu, I think you're probably the only person in the world with what I'm going to go ahead and call a stage 4 Heartstone.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Me either.
Congratulations. It's very pretty.
Thank you.
You know, so what I am going to be able to say about this very safely though is this thing should never be anywhere near Zoe ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That would have been bad.
Yeah, this is
That would have been awful.
This is basically the equivalent of a super battery, of a supercharged super mana.
He really would have
Big
eaten
super soul.
first.
That is basically what that is. And if I
Oversoul?
had gotten near him, he would have just. Oh my.
I'm really happy we had the idea for me to take this out.
Agreed.
I am
Yeah.
as well.
I honestly completely forgot you had it in until we were having the conversation about you like sneaking up on him and can he track us? And I was going to say, well, no, of course he can't track us. We had our Heartstones removed. Oh right, we should probably leave our Heartstones behind. Oh wait, Kayu can't leave his Heartstone behind. Oh shit, I should probably remove his Heartstone.
Yeah. I'm gonna go take care of that chest now.
Good idea.
Can I have my stone?
Hands it over to her. For now, until we have the chest ready, and then it's going in the chest with the other ones.
Oh.
Don't complain.
You can
I'm not-
have it
I'm
back
not.
and Come back alive.
I didn't say anything.
You lied.
I'm not lying. I was genuinely curious about these. What mine would look like. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to house my soul, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it kind of just looks like Zoe's eye.
I
And I
understand
didn't
that.
want that looking
It would
at
be.
me.
I understand the imposing nature behind it, but physically being able to hold my soul is not something I thought I would ever be able to do. It interests me.
I guess I could see that, yeah.
It still feels weird to me.
Did you not travel through the temples?
He kind of got an honorary pass for some of them. We met him sort of early on.
Right.
And-
That's right. Still,
Well,
my bar for strangeness was dramatically increased after going through one temple.
yeah. There's something different about magic and the magic of the temples.
There's nothing quite like it. Well, why don't you get the treasure chest or storage chest, and I will go and let Morik know what happened when he is done trying to pretend he is not afraid of seeing people get their stomachs cut open.
I'm gonna go check everybody else in camp and see if anyone else has a Heartstone.
Do that, yes.
Remove more of them, I guess.
Are we just gonna put them all in the chest?
No, anybody else who's Heartstone that I remove is going to have to find something else to do with them because we are not mixing these together.
If we gather them all up, it's going to be a huge beacon, and that's worse than.
Yeah, this
Is
is
it not already?
Well, yeah, but Zoe hasn't moved since we got here,
Oh.
which means he probably
Hmm.
won't move. But then, like I said, we're doing this in case we have to run away. We don't want to bring the Heartstones directly to him because he could probably take them back and heal or get stronger or something. And then if we have to
Aye.
run, we have to know exactly where to go to get them because if we move more than a mile away from them, our souls kind of leave our bodies to stay with the Heartstone. That's not very conducive to running to fight another day.
That's kind of counterproductive.
So
You are
we don't.
very smart.
I have been studying this ever since I met these guys. Also, I'm very good at running away.
Well, I mean, so am I. I imagine Morik is faster, though.
Well, I mean, yeah, Morik's faster, but Morik's probably not as good at running away and not being found again.
Why? Why are you good at hiding?
Because long story.
I won't push.
Just not right now.
She'll stand up. No, understandable. I will go find Morik.
So, unsurprisingly, there, Farian, if you still have a spell slot to cast Antipathy, it does
Yes.
work. You can anchor it to the chest, and
Cool.
Zelda doesn't find anyone else in camp that has a Heartstone. So,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
they are still technically rare,
Huh. Neat.
so she doesn't have to go through her ritual anymore. So once the Heartstones are all gathered up, she would go and propose to Preda, watching over them, which Preda would agree to.
Can I study mine for a bit?
What are you going to do with it? What could you possibly hope to learn this late?
I don't.
If Sayuri is still nearby, she is going to say, why don't you have Morik draw it?
Sure.
What's him drawing it gonna do?
Well, I know he likes to draw things. And he likes to
Whoa.
record things as well, doesn't he?
He
Like-
doesn't really do that much
Hmm.
anymore. Apparently that was part of his mental illness. Mine is lying.
Oh. Well, I hope that ends then.
She's gotten much better.
Well, okay, so I remember, yeah, Captain, you weren't around for this conversation before.
No?
I kind of told everyone else that it was stealing, but I was lying because, my compulsion is lying, not stealing. I kind of just started lying to myself,
Hmm.
if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I guess that makes sense. I mean,
Alright.
it kind of counterproductive to your own self, so that would connect. Makes you feel like you're not as much of a power as you could be. It hinders your abilities.
I basically turned a weird negative thing into a positive thing, but it took going through the Temple of Darkness to do that.
Oh.
Well, that's something.
That's why we go through the temples, to better ourselves. Even if that wasn't your original intent. It had a positive impact, correct?
Yeah? Yeah, no, the original intent was to trick Zoe into not coming after us soon.
Well, I'd say it worked.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing else to say. I don't know how to end conversations.
You and a lot of other people in this group. Anyway,
I was
That's
good at it.
true.
If I make mana with my own heart stone, does that cause a feedback loop?
No.
Max,
What?
Your Honor buffed the Conqueror's counter.
They what?
They buffed the
Wow.
crushing counter for the Conqueror, when you're in shield stance in the heavy.
Yeah.
They buffed the shit out of it. It does more than his heavies now.
Oh, good. Well, it
Alright.
used to do more than his heavies.
Yeah, but when they nerfed it with the title update, it did less than his lights.
Yeah, I know.
That was with
It
the
was
last
like 12
update.
damage. It was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Reading the notes. Sorry.
yeah. So, does anybody else have anything to they want to do for the next 2 days? Because it will be on the second day that the military arrives, and that would be pretty much the day that you all had agreed on to go in.
Nope. I got nothing.
War.
Basically,
I like to train with more on that whole Fists of the Many or whatever that is.
What?
Flurry of blows,
Yeah.
and let me go and look at your.
Did you call it
character sheet.
Fist of the Many? I love it. I legitimately love that name. That's incredible.
Yes. The Fist of the Many. It's
I gotta
not
remember
wrong
that.
either. Yeah.
I'm writing that down. Hold on. I love it.
You should know of it.
The Fist of
It's-
the Many. More flurry of blows. Fist of the Many.
It's the Fist of the Many. The Armstrong technique passed down for generations.
oh no.
I want to point out that's perfect. We're all gonna
Peanut
fucking
Gallery
die.
approves. Thank you, Sandblaze.
Yo, it's okay to listen to chat. More than Critical Role does, but that's because chat's too fast.
Yeah.
But don't take my word for it.
I would like to at least try to make a decent potion or two.
Don't know if you have the materials.
You're like I'm
You
just
could
gonna go ahead and
Try asking around camp and
Yeah.
explain what you're trying to do. See if anybody has something.
that is an option. Where's my phone?
Don't know if anyone would be willing, or even if they have it, but that's literally the only way I can think of you being able to pull something like that off.
Right.
How hilarious would it be? Okay, no, this is some literal Fire Emblem shit that I'm just gonna point out here because Max is looking for his phone. But the traveling merchant Anna, the canon explanation for her following you onto the back of the dragon god of death in Fire Emblem Awakening is, I figured the army would be here, so I set up my sales tent so I can make some money before the world possibly ends. What can I do for you?
She's crazy. I love her.
They have multi-dimensional transportation.
To
They
be
do.
fair, if Preda had survived, she did have quote unquote stock that she would have been able to sell and trade for.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
kind of.
Oh.
What did we do with her body?
Her
Buried
body's
it.
not gonna have anything in
Yeah.
Yeah, you just kind of
didn't-
rotted away.
We didn't go through her stuff, did we?
We can't go through extra
No, that's the
dimensional
thing.
stomach space.
Yeah, she was.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah, when she died, all that stuff was destroyed.
Which I'm disappointed by, but I'm glad we saved her.
Yeah, I could probably look around and see if I still have the notes for all the shit that was in there.
So
Um,
much wasted potential.
But yeah, for right now, we'll leave that.
We saved the character
Yep.
because. So shut up.
Look, I already said that I'm glad we saved her, but I'm like, all of her stuff.
Oh no.
Okay.
My only thing is like at night, going to rest. I am going to be sleeping relatively close to Morg and Zelda radius for using the Hearth of Moonlight and Shadow. Basically 30-foot radial sphere of darkness. Just to make it harder for them to be spotted. So no spikes just, want to wander up in the middle of the night.
Good call.
Yeah, there is
No.
also Hikao's tribe that's been like doing watches and shifts, like specifically for that purpose. Like for the most part, the camp is very well guarded.
You never be too
Still.
careful, especially from the air.
Yeah,
Personally,
And when the captain is
yeah.
and when the captain is not training, he'll be spending a lot of time with Lady Preda.
Hmm.
Just talking.
something that I did forget to point out mid-session last time.
Right.
The Hawk demi-humans that ended up taking off as you guys like went out, they are the reason why there weren't that many spikes coming from the western flank there.
Ah.
They did land a couple of diving attacks, which
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah.
yeah, they do quite
Yeah.
a bit of damage. I don't know if everybody was still here, but I know I said that like after session was over, so I just wanted to
Right. Yeah.
Fair enough.
had to remember to get that in there.
The
Okay,
awesome bird people, yes.
So, for the intermediary day there, if nobody has a Heartstone, the next thing that Zelda tries to do is pretty much go through and make sure that people like aren't scarred or deformed from previous battles. So a lot of like Hikao's tribe, some of the hunters from the Mazak, all, kind of get some of their like scars or like missing fingers or like bum legs or whatever taken care of.
Interesting.
And the following morning would be when the forward scouts for the military start to arrive.
Oh boy.
Which the watch would sort of pick up on first and kind of call them out. And then, you kind of get what seems to be like, what are basically like special forces as close as we're going to get to in this universe.
Right.
There are, like wolves in, like camouflaged outfits. They have like rifles that are like strung together with twine, with branches and whatnot, and like they're just like as close to one with nature as they can get, and they just kind of like emerge from the underbrush and kind of like look around the camp and like are talking amongst themselves. And one of them steps forward, and just kind of announces, "The Royal Military will be arriving within a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
We'll begin our operation as soon as we arrive. But those of us who are here are going to get a survey of the land.
Fair enough.
If you have any messages you would like for us to relay to the military, please bring them to me." And he kind of like, motions over his shoulder, and the rest of his small squad kind of like fan out and move ahead.
Did we have anything? I thought there was something.
Zelda just kind of shrugs. Anything that I had to tell them, I've already told them.
That's right. We did do that. Never mind.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well,
I mean,
we're good.
he's not a commander, so he probably wouldn't know that. So a couple of minutes go by, and the scouting squad kind of regroups, and lost
Dies.
somebody. Yep, immediately dies. Who did we lose?
That was.
That was Slip. Huh. Not what I expected.
The slip.
He's the next one to lose his internet for the night.
I swear to God.
Rip PK. Also, while we have a moment, with the changes, one of my Krillin combos got sort of fucked.
Is it, like, good or bad?
Krillin combos?
Well, in a weird way. It's still
Dragon Ball
works.
Fighters.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Fighters. So you know the combo where I start off with the the 2M and bring you all the way up and then hit you with the Ki Blast and then carry you over with the Kamehameha? Well, before, when you did the Kamehameha, it would keep you in the air for a second. Now, if you do an aerial Kamehameha, you drop like a rock. Which means that now, I'm not too sure if it's a good or bad thing. It still connects, but I'll hit you with the Ki Blast, I'll start the Kamehameha, and I'll drag you down the screen with me, because you'll be stuck in the beam.
Yeah. DND does that too now.
It looks nuts.
Wow.
They normalized the Kamehamehas to do the same.
Okay.
So
Well,
like if you stay in place when you shoot a Kamehameha wave, it'll hold you there with your opponent.
We got
But if
Caillou
you
back.
move if you're like moving while you're blasting a Kamehameha wave or a beam that hits consecutively, they'll be dragged down and stay like at the same angle with you. It helps more characters get through combo routes than it breaks, apparently. They're just trying to make them consistent because
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It was just like, oh shit. I was super surprised when I saw that.
that was something they specifically pointed out during their live stream.
Yeah.
So
Also, Roshi is
good.
he plays his own game, sort of.
That was the point.
His inputs are weird. Like, I'm gonna have to get used to it. Because when you press R2, it doesn't just immediately track the character. Like, for example, that aerial Kamehameha, you have to manually direct yourself whenever you do it.
Oh, so it's like S.
Yeah.
Okay. Then if
Well-
you're like me, you'll get used to it.
Well, yeah, which is a bit of a different mindset, but that's fine. What's the most jarring is he has 3 levels of step when he's on the ground. Down R2 gives you a really tall jump. Standing R2 gives you a horizontal jump. He'll just like hop really far towards you. And then back R2 is at kind of like an arc. It's really weird. There's
Sounds weird.
potential here.
Well, I mean,
it's
it's-
going to be a good time.
It sounds like actually doing the jump cancels in Blaze Blue because there's
Yeah.
the high jump cancel, horizontal jump canceling, and there's mid combo canceling.
Yeah, it's just
So-
different because with it takes your properties of the Dragon Dash, so you have like multiple jump cancels now, and it's weird.
Anyways,
Yeah, back to the point. Carry on.
So, military's arriving.
yeah,
Y'all gonna
sorry.
do?
My internet just decided to be a derp.
That's alright. At least you came back.
I didn't control it, Max.
I know.
I
not
didn't
a
ask
dig
you to
at
be
you.
born, dads. Carry on.
Yeah, that wasn't a dig at you.
They got Comcast.
So they all kind of leave, and Zoda just kind of like looks over and, okay, so the plan was go in now, right? Before they get here?
That's right.
Right.
You already told them that, so. Oh boy.
I assume we've already told them.
Yeah, with her messenger.
Yeah. All right.
You guys ready?
So, my question to you guys is, should I storm him before we really get in, or
Well, I saw how big
No.
that was.
Hold
How
on.
about you do it as we're approaching?
Yeah, like I
Sure.
said, I want to get the jump on him.
In other words, knock knock.
looks to Caillou, double storm?
Definitely, but after I go in.
After you get, how are you going to get out?
So, wait, you're gonna try and... Yeah, the cloud's kind of big.
It's
Like, huge.
Did you not
I don't-
notice the one that Farian made?
I don't think I can, just say, lightning, don't hit this one little speck.
You'd kind of have to be faster than lightning to even get around that. That's not exactly a forte of yours.
I don't think it's an option, Caillou.
I was about to say, I think I should be fine. Besides, I can teleport out if needed.
Caillou, how far can you teleport?
Line of sight, 500 feet,
Oh,
and that's only an
that should do it.
emergency.
Oh, yeah, I suppose so.
I mean,
Are we really gonna let him try to sneak up on Zoe by himself?
I
He
didn't
has a
think you
better
guys-
chance than any of us.
I was about to say I didn't think you guys would be that far away in the first place.
At least 500 feet.
Do you
Yeah,
want
we're
me?
gonna kind of need to stand back because, like you
Giant
said,
lightning storm.
yeah.
I know you want to get the drop on him, Caillou, but aren't you capable of doing that kind of damage even in the middle of a fight?
I can do more if it's the first strike, actually.
Okay, let's just stop dancing around the point. Can't he just sneak attack if he's invisible and doesn't engage right away?
Not with Death
Ye-
Strike.
He's using Death Strike specifically from the Assassin subclass. He has to attack something that is surprised that hasn't taken a turn in combat. Like, he has to be the one who makes the first hit. That's how that feature
It has
works.
to be on the first turn in the surprise round.
Right.
Well, then my question becomes:
Well, okay,
instead
how
of-
far away can Kutch cast that spell from? Can't he, like,
It's-
warp in just a second after the aftermath, and it would still technically be surprise round?
Well,
Storm takes
This-
a minute.
yeah, the spell that he's casting lasts for a minute. So
He would
either
have
way,
to
it
hit it
has to be Caillou first.
So you'd have to hit it and then get out.
Caillou,
Right.
do you want Foresight again? And I forego double storming and just, your crystal and one of mine.
Well, he could leave the crystal with me, and we could both cast the spell.
Yeah, anybody can cast it.
Yes,
From
but I'm
it.
saying, do you want Foresight instead of me casting the storm twice?
I think that would be the safer thing to do,
Yes.
Hey, that'd be, yeah.
Alright then. Give me
especially
a minute.
since your spell lasts like the entire day.
8
That's true.
hours, but
Okay. So, hold on. Now I need to.
Hey, Max.
Huh?
Would I be able to make the copy of myself rest and then get my key back without disrupting the copy?
If you mean the
Like the Raymond autonomy.
the autonomy, no. And that's something that I should have hard coded in there because then technically
It
once
doesn't
gets to the point
say
where, yeah,
That I have to disable it to be able to rest to get my key back.
give
yeah,
me a
I'm
quick moment.
going to have to add that because it lasts like a number of several hours, and so somebody would just be able to go, oh, okay, this person's in this room and they're not leaving. I'm going to take a couple of short rests and summon a bunch of those, and then just walk in with my own
Well, I
personal
mean,
army.
I wasn't going to make a personal army. I was literally just going to use the one, rest to get the key back, and then go in with that same one, because I just assumed I was only allowed to have one. Because, I mean, I can only summon one Raymond at a time. Why would I be able to do the two and make an unstoppable army? That doesn't make sense.
Right. I would basically just
That's
say
all I was
because of the
gonna
way that, like, you have to stop and focus and restore your key, that no, you wouldn't
Oh,
be
that's
able to have
fine.
something that's already out.
I just figured I would ask because there wasn't saying anything saying I could explicitly not do it.
Right.
But that's something to look into and
Yeah,
make sure
definitely
it
gonna have
happen.
to write that down.
I didn't even think of
forgot about that.
make an army of it. I'm like, no, I didn't. That didn't cross my mind.
Yeah, I completely
I just wanted
forgot
to be able to
about that.
refund the key so I could keep fighting. That's all.
So I will need to fix that.
I can remind you later.
I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to do that right now, though.
I'll remind you when we're playing as Luster.
Mm.
By the way, watch. Oh my god, I keep forgetting the shark girl's name.
Gawargura.
Yeah, good.
I am back.
Watch her latest stream. It's fucking hysterical.
I would
Alright.
like to.
She asks us what we know about sharks, and she. A lot of the chat's like, nothing. Tell me. Explain it to me. Talk more.
That's adorable.
Aw. So, I'm gonna chime in to the group as well. There's one other thing I would like to do after the storms are done, before we rush in. A little something special I have for Zoe.
By the way,
What do you got, Bugman?
I just want to ask, when we start, before the actual encounter starts or we start doing damage to the thing, can we take a quick break so I can get water and use the bathroom and stuff? Because I'm assuming we're going to be stuck in combat for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Just
Good
keep
idea.
All right.
Let's keep doing this preparation stuff, but when it comes time to roll initiative, let's just take a break there. Let's just blatantly rip off critical roll and take a break when they roll initiative so they can come back to combat.
Yeah, that works.
Fair enough.
Okay. Throwing that out there before we get going. Because I have to bathroom and I am thirsty.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So,
Okay, so let's
as
see.
soon as because you guys getting prepared and having the conversation and whatnot, the tribe over there with Hikau are pretty much going to pick up on the fact that everybody's starting to get geared up and go, and they're just going to kind of talk amongst themselves and then just start leaving.
Oh, fuck. We gotta tell them.
About the
Tell them
storm?
more.
Yes.
Yes, go tell them now. Tell them about the
Right.
opening salvo.
I'll go with you.
I'm not using magic on this. One of you guys needs to go catch them.
All right. Captain runs.
How far ahead are they?
Here you go.
I'll run up to stop them. I am fast.
I have speed.
So Captain starts running off. Hikau. Oh my god. Morik runs past him.
Okay.
They won't listen to a human.
Fuck off.
And yeah, and they're just kind of they're walking up the grassy hill, just outside the tree line, going up to the ridge.
I'm gonna shout to get their attention.
Some of them stop to turn and look, including Hikau.
We have a plan that is going to be a large-scale destruction. Hold off for a minute.
And Hikau's just gonna kind of hold up a hand, and the rest of them are going to stop. And
Captain gets there. Lightning. Storm.
Hey, Kyle. Just catch your breath, Captain. Deep breaths.
Okay.
I can talk to them. Don't worry. Hey, Kyle.
what is this you're talking about?
Our friend Farion has a new spell he can use, but it is a very indiscriminate and in its effective damage potential. We're going to have him attack first, then move in after we weaken Zoe.
So using magic essentially to bombard him first.
Yes. He can only do it the one time, so we were just trying to weaken him, and then we're just gonna go in. I know
How
you.
close can we be?
We never got an exact range. What did we agree on, Captain? 500 feet?
Generally speaking, yes, within the range of that.
Then we will get within 500 feet of the tower and wait.
Thank you. We just didn't. I'm not telling you to not fight. We just didn't want anyone to get hurt.
Yeah, and oh no, I think both of you would understand because Morik, you're a monk. He pretty much relays it in very simple terms, and then just kind of waves them to continue, and they start sliding down the ridge.
I have military training. That's my background. It was never used at any point, but the thing I have.
Well.
Huh.
All right.
Those books are really... Look at
All
that.
right.
Now, the
Those
fact
books aren't
that
giving me payoff.
the fact that you were a monk, and the fact that you had the military training was a big reason why people in actual monks from the temples would listen to you at all. You probably have to think back, and you might want to nap a little because it's been a while. But Morik was the one they always deferred to.
I just assumed that was because I was the one who usually talked.
No, if somebody else had a background like that, if somebody else had chosen to like be from a temple that wasn't you, like, if it had been Farian, and Farian's usually kind of quiet in sessions, they still would have gone up to him and like prompted him to answer.
Well, okay then.
Oh.
It just worked
Okay.
out that way.
Got it. It never specifically was mentioned or brought attention to, but it was happening.
No.
All right.
I try not to do that.
Well, yeah, I know. It's just I didn't really think of it that way, but you're right. I was thinking of it as me, the player, not Morik, the character.
Fair enough. Damn it! I try not to say that.
Not something. Not something I usually do. In fact, that's something I basically try to avoid doing when I play D&D. But that was how I was looking at it, and look at that. It wasn't how I was thinking it was. Imagine that.
So, they slide down the ridge, and they just kind of continue forward.
All right, Captain, you ready to run back?
Oh, for the love of Pete.
Come on, dude, you're in peak
All
physical
right.
condition. You're not tired. Stop freaking showboating.
All right.
To be fair, Captain, you would quite literally just be sandbagging right now. You have a 26 con. Nothing, no amount of running
You're
can tire
just-
you out.
If anything, you're just angry that your muscles are so big that they can't move fast enough to keep up. That's the only thing.
Okay.
They're too bulky and they're slowing you down. You can't even lift your hands over your head anymore.
Look,
Oh,
you're not wrong.
Can I call you Swole Mite?
You're just an asshole.
What did I do?
God damn it.
Oh,
I'm
well.
literally complimenting you. Come on.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, you're fucking huge.
Well, it's
Look,
hard to tell
you
if
could-
you complimenting or insulting people.
I was literally telling you facts. How was that an insult?
Someone finally fucking said it. Thank you.
Or you fourth wall breaking bastard.
No breaking the fourth wall, Captain. Anyway, all right. So you head back. Everybody else is still getting ready. Some
Yeah.
of the hunters are starting to break off. They're pretty much just going to report that they're going to keep any spikes from interfering in the crater.
All right.
The rest of the nomads that have shown up kind of agree to the same thing. But they're going to stay in the forest and catch any of the spikes that try to run away and try to work with the military.
We ordered the military as well to this plan I was doing as well, right?
Yes.
We spent
And,
a whole
The military
day-
is showing up specifically to start clearing the area surrounding the crater of spikes and to make sure that none escape.
Gotcha.
Plan. We got the plans.
Yep.
You got the power. You got the power. That's it.
Please
I
don't mute
fucking
my
love
VOD.
that movie.
Crime. Why give away your life so willingly?
Are we in break mode yet,
It's
or
a fucking fantastic movie, though.
I
But
thought
are
that's
we in
what we
break
were
mode?
doing.
or
So,
do you need more time
I
to
mean,
get
where
us to
we?
that
I know
I-
this would pretty much be it. If this would be where everybody's gonna
I-
head out. So if you're gonna take a break,
Break
now's the
time.
time.
radio.
Jack,
Bring the drink.
put us on a commercial break.
Right after
Just plays a round of Among Us on the VOD.
Don't fucking tempt me.
Yeah, I'll be back in like 5-10 minutes. I'll try to be quick, okay?
Drink
This stream was brought to you by the Imposters Association.
This joke is brought to you by Imposter Gang.
Live your life so
The third
recklessly.
imposter.
The third
One
imposter.
shall stand, and one shall.
This joke is
fall.
brought to you by Die.
Damn it. I don't have the soundboard. I was gonna say this joke is brought to you by, and I was just gonna play the Space Marine screaming die soundbite. I don't have it on my soundboard though. Wait, I never downloaded those. Fuck. Sandblaze. Go
This
find
show
me.
is brought to you by
Please,
Big
somebody
Bell
find
Hells.
somebody find me a soundboard, like sound bites of Blood Ravens from Warhammer for me. I need to put that shit on my
no,
soundboard.
dude, hold
yesterday.
on. I got you. I
Cool.
super
I'll
fucking
be
got
back.
you.
You
I
need
don't want-
you need the Dreadnought voice lines too.
No, Blood Ravens.
Even
please.
in death, I still serve.
Okay, I'll be back.
No, you don't. I have a specific folder that I've been meaning to use to make edits. It is called the Dawn of War folder.
Nice. This commercial was brought to you by Big Bell Hells Car Emporium.
Giving your
Just to
Fuck
make
you,
sure it is
Baltimore.
still here. Oh yeah, it's just an entirety of the Dreadnought. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Okay, hold on, let me... I guess I did not save the normal lines, but... Where is this? Oh no! The fucking... The Dreadnought voice lines are too powerful. Cannot send it over Discord. They're too strong. Oh wait, shit, no, it's just playing... Oh god, it's playing on repeat! Fuck!
Oh no! His faith in the Emperor is too strong.
God damn it, I can't stop! Oh, fuck.
Alright. Huh.
I guess I'll have to tell him when he gets back. But dude, Roshi is nuts. Roshi's sick.
Not too far from the cartoon then there, eh?
Right, because you guys can hear an echo of that now. Now I gotta wait until he gets back.
Yep.
Fuck.
Pretty much.
Rip me, I guess. Because if I switch it over to how I normally do it, then you'll just hear random Dragon Ball fighters in the background of the stream. That'd be no good.
Any other things I could cast before we go in? No? Really?
My dude, I actually had to sit down and like write out a specific note for what the hell Zelda was going to be casting before combat starts, and then what she was going to do in the first round, because she would actually plan out like very specifically what she was going to do, because she just has so many options now.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait. That's something I could do as well. Once more. I forgot I could do this. My own sympathy spell. Oops.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. That was never your intention at the beginning.
Well, no, I forgot. I actually took Dispel Magic. Yeah.
No, I didn't take that. Probably because, well, we can dispel our own magic, but we can't dispel other people's.
I took that just in case if I started like wildfires and stuff. along with Sleep Storm, just in case of emergency.
Someone give me an impersonation to do.
Sean Connery.
Well, I haven't done that one in a long time.
Gladys.
GLaDOS. I don't think he
Gladys.
knows that.
Who in the bloody hell are you talking about Gladys for? I am quite concerned. I'm pretty sure her name was Pushy Galore.
You're not
Fuck.
wrong.
Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka. Which
Well,
one?
what depends? Do you
Oh,
want
that's
the
a
Gene
good
Wilder or do you want the Johnny Depp?
Let's go classic. Go Gene Wilder.
Do cigarettes expire?
Yeah.
Google. No, cigarettes don't
cigarettes.
expire, but the person smoking them does.
A little nonsense now
Fuck.
and then is treasured by the wisest men. Where is fancy bread? In the heart or in the head? Oh well. Don't stop, come back. Yeah, I think that's my favorite line by his because the absolute inconsideration for the kid's safety is just like you ain't listening. I don't give a damn.
Like, I'm not putting any effort into this.
Don't
I'm just
stop,
gonna say
come
something so
back.
that I'm legally okay.
I made a huge contract. Everything's in it. You can't touch me. Huh?
You literally refuse to read it.
Yeah. You had every opportunity. If I remember correctly, I even had a magnifying glass. Oh well. There's no earthly way of knowing which direction we are going. There's no earthly way of knowing where the rowers keep on rowing. Certainly.
I'm just noticing now a lot of my spells only last a minute, so I have to cast them in battle.
Yeah, that may or may not be intended.
Oh, you guys have
no,
all
we
your
don't
setup. Uh-oh.
Um,
I didn't think he was the one that blinked out.
Okay, cool. We got
there
back.
go.
Oh, I got you. Alright, I don't know what happened. When did I lose you?
They have no way of knowing.
Which direction we are rowing? I'm stuck on that one for a while. What's another one? Because I really don't want to do the Johnny Depp one because that's basically Michael Jackson. And don't lie, you know it is.
Oh no, you're right.
I think I could do another Johnny Depp character, and that's not very hard. But which one would I do? It's the one that most people would go to for Johnny Depp. Is obviously Drunk Pirate Man. Because that's an intense depth of his character. He said he's drunk. Yeah. Either one.
Can you do a good Brian Bless impression?
Do a what?
Brian Bless.
Brian Bless.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the guy from the Flash Gordon movie?
No, he does a he's a, what do you call it? What's the he voice acted I think he played one of the dwarves in oh, it wasn't the original Ring
Does
trilogy.
he have like a big
Hobbit
black
series.
beard?
Yeah, he's got a big beard. He also does audiobooks for the Gotrek Gurney.
Yeah, Brian Blessed. He was like the king of the Falcon people in the Flash Gordon movie.
Was he really?
Yeah, search it
Never
up.
knew that. I never knew
In
that.
my opinion, I would have cast him to play Odin in the Thor film.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah,
And
nothing
now
against
you-
Anthony
And now
Hopkins.
you've made Sandblaze immeasurably more upset at the fact that that wasn't how that
I
casting
wasn't
went.
expecting to be sad after this conversation. Fuck you.
I mean, nothing against Anthony Hopkins being cast because it's Anthony friggin' Hopkins.
I know it's not a bad thing. It's just fucking Brian
could have
fucking
been?
Bless. God damn it.
What could have been.
What could have been? That's true. But then again, that was one of my castings, and not all of them are great. Like, for example, I was going to have, in my mind, Triple H cast as Thor. I mean, they can't all be dudes.
Not
What?
a bad actor.
Wasn't he one of the original contenders for Thor?
No, one of the original contenders, weird enough, was actually Tom Hiddleston.
Ah.
You know what would have been a really weird casting?
What?
And again, rest in peace his heart, good old Chadwick Boseman.
Right.
But what if The Rock got Black Panther?
That
That would just be weird.
would be painfully awkward.
That would be painfully awkward.
Just be weird.
It'd almost be as painfully awkward as, casting Gerard Butler as, an Egyptian god.
Made Jim Carrey Loki.
The world isn't ready for
I'm
that.
trying to
wouldn't
find
say
something
no.
wrong with this, but I can't
That's
see it.
the real trick, isn't
I
it?
can't find anything wrong with this.
I
shit.
mean, I can't find anything wrong with it. That's why.
That's the worst part. It would work.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Oh my
There's
god.
nothing wrong and yet everything wrong at the same time.
In the mask, he's technically literally possessed by Loki.
Mhm.
It literally works. It's painfully obvious. Why can't I find anything wrong with it though? It hurts.
Damn it. They were mad because he spoke the truth.
I have never seen a movie where Jim Carrey went from his really goofy, funny character to being actually serious. Emotional.
Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind.
True.
He flip-flops a little bit. In my opinion, it's kind of awkward, but some people have found it appealing in a sense, and I don't know.
Master Roshi.
I think he's good at sticking to one tone for an entire movie.
Yes.
Master
Which is
Roshi
why
goes
he
into
did
his
so-
platform when he goes into sparking.
Well, that was why he was really good in Sonic movie.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
I was
yeah.
gonna say. Yeah, it was because he basically went back to what he was really good at, and why in future sequels he will continue to be good at. Because if you thought he was at that point, just
Well, now his character's crazy.
Uh-oh. Lost him again. Your battery almost dead?
oh no, I'm just running into a little bit of weirdo things. Hold on a second. Let me just.
You know, it's really funny, at least in good old Dragon Ball lore, that out of all the characters, Master Roshi is the only one who doesn't know how to fly. Not because he couldn't, but because his introduction to that technique was from his rival from the Crane School. And he hates his rival from the crane school.
Wait a second. He literally doesn't fly out of spite.
Yep.
Yes. That's why
That
he
makes
used to use the flying Nimbus.
Well, out of self-respect, I think is more along the lines of it, not necessarily spite, because the leader of the crane school is hired assassins and stuff, and he is not about assassination. But then everybody else just started doing it because that's how power creep worked in Dragon Ball. If you didn't know how to fly, you were useless, and Roshi wasn't really a part of Dragon Ball Z when everyone learned how to fly. So when we get to Dragon Ball Super and he's brought back, they put in a situation where, oh no, nobody can fly. I guess Master Roshi is in fair game. Yep. It's not that he can't. It's he refuses to learn.
Well, that's
Probably because he is very fucking old. I mean, have you seen him? Man is like pushing 300, I think.
yeah, that makes sense. Anyway. Oh, did you hear they cast Kang the Conqueror? It's okay, he's not very well known. But he will be an important character in the MCU.
Dude.
I know that Dwayne Johnson's now Black Adam. Oh, also the new Dune movies.
The new what movies?
Dune.
Oh, Dune.
Oh, Dune, yes.
I was going to say, they
Who's
made
going to be
another
playing
Dune
the
movie?
cackling flying fat man in this movie?
What's his name?
I'm back.
You see him in the trailer,
Welcome
like
back.
taking his oil bath.
I haven't seen the trailer yet, but
Welcome back.
Your boy is ready to potentially die for his country.
But before you go in, I just have
What
to
is
put an
world?
image into your mind. Because
more of the world,
we all
yeah.
realize this would have been freaking amazing if it actually happened. But, Jim Carrey cast as Loki.
In Marvel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
Marvel Loki.
No,
Come-
screw that.
What's wrong with it?
Because
What can you
Loki
actually
isn't a
find that's
fucking
wrong with it?
goofball.
But it,
He doesn't
well,
even in his
play
own
a
comics.
goofball.
He's not a goofball. He's a serious character.
Yeah, and Jim Carrey can play serious characters and has.
But that's, I know he has, but that's not what people think when they think of Jim Carrey.
That's fair.
It's like a type role that you want somebody who's good at doing that kind of stuff specifically to do. And the guy that they got is literally perfect for Loki. I think
Oh,
Jim Carrey
we're not
would have
saying
done a
that-
good. I think
we're
Jim
not-
Carrey
we're-
would have done a fantastic job. But I
Yeah.
could think of people who could do it better, and I can't think of anybody who can with the current Loki.
We want Loki, not Eggman.
I know who we're talking about.
I know.
Yeah.
I
No.
love how you're
Yeah,
the only
for-
one who didn't
but for-
roll with it.
But for Eggman,
Okay.
100% perfect casting.
All right.
I
And
think
I
he
will
would have done a
tell
great
this-
job. I agree with that. He would have done a fantastic job.
I will make one more casting that could have been and should have been. And once again, God rest his soul. But Bob Hoskins to play the Penguin in the Nolan Batman films.
Yeah, I can see that.
Honestly, I'm
I
gonna have a hard time seeing anyone else as a successful Penguin until I see Colin Farrell.
got an easy one too. Danny DeVito.
Well, that's too easy.
I know, but it's still an
It's
ass.
too
It's still
easy.
good.
Yeah.
It's
Do you
still,
know?
he still would have
I
done
got
a great
another
job.
one for you. I got another one for you. Number 2, Paul Giamatti.
Oh yeah, that would have been fun actually.
I definitely have a little man complex, and we all know he needs an actual good comic book villain role after that whole Amazing Spider-Man 2 debacle.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm here now.
All
I
right.
am going to go back in my hidey hole. Good luck.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for all the help.
All right. So everybody's preparations are complete. Everybody else is kind of heading out, so you're just kind of left alone in the clearing for the moment. Are you heading out as well?
I don't think there's any last minute preparations I can do.
Nope. I'm all foresighted up and ready to go.
All right. So everybody starts heading for the crater. It is just a short walk through a lightly wooded area, and then you get to the tree line where you go up just a slightly steeper hill. And when you reach the lip, it is kind of just like dirt and some very light grass. It is technically considered difficult terrain. But just like Hikao's crew, you're able to just kind of like slide down until you get to a more stable ground. And pretty much as soon as you get down this, oh, Discord ended my stream with the music because I wasn't playing music. So I guess I will turn this back on and open this back up and do that thing. And Jack, if you want to hop back in there. There we go. Okay. So it is a good couple 100 feet down the lip, and you've been down here before. You've kind of like been not too far into the city, a couple of blocks maybe, when you were looking for Preda. And you pretty quickly make your way past that. Getting a closer look at the buildings, they are sort of made out of what seems to be like a primitive concrete or like thick clay. It's very different from any of the townships that you've been in before. It does look like it was a completely separate civilization. But, nobody ever really mentioned what exactly it was that used to be here. It doesn't seem like Hikao knows, and he's, from the time of the Anatomus. So wherever this used to be, nobody seems to really know. The architecture would kind of be like, I'll describe for the players to know so that you understand what the characters are saying. It kind of looks like ancient Roman architecture almost. Part of the problem with, like, for example, the fall of Pompeii was that they didn't have curved rooftops. So a lot of the ash and stone collected, and their ceilings would collapse in on them if they were trying to successfully hide from the fallout. And it's very similar here. There are a lot of there's a lot of entryways where there's not actually any doors, and it's not because like the doors simply rotted away. These places were built to not have doors. Looking in on some of the doors that you pass by, there are like small basins that seem to be there for the purpose of collecting like rainwater through a small hole in the ceiling. There are very few that are multiple stories. Although some of the buildings do get progressively taller as you get towards the center, where you get, 2-story buildings become more common, and then you get a couple of 3rd-story buildings, and then there is just the tower in the center. And the tower is the only really complicated building here. And it's a lot easier to make out the details the closer you get. And you can sort of see as you're approaching more that Hikao's tribe is still out a little bit ways ahead of you. The city is several miles in diameter. It's very large. So the tower at the center is the only part that seems to be magical in any sense, or that seems to have been built in any sort of a complex manner. There are these rings that sort of float around the outside of the tower that seem to have like landings that then kind of connect back inwards. And even though that, I don't think any of you are trained with architecture or load bearing, you could pretty much get the feel for the fact that there's no way that these large walkways would be supported in this way by anything but magic. And there are several of them. There's like 3 tiers of these like rings around the outside at regular intervals. There are windows. There seem to be several entrances. The area surrounding the tower just seems to be like a big plaza that was probably once like the marketplace. But any of the like previous maybe markings or engravings on the tower have since kind of been eroded, just like the rest of the city, by rain and wind and time. What used to be crawling with spikes is now just empty.
There is no nature here. There aren't even like moles digging through the ground. And it's right about roughly when you get to just where the like curve from the crater sort of ends, and you finally are on what is like basically flat ground right towards the center, approaching the last like 750 or so feet to the center to the tower. I would say that the captain and Farian would need to make an intelligence save, but Zelda is nearby. And you physically cannot be made afraid while you are in her presence. At around this point, the tribe that is out ahead of you also seems to start to get very restless. And although some of them do seem certainly scared, they're either well trained enough that they aren't going to flee, or their tribesmen actually don't let them. Like, some of them are picked up off of their feet until they calm themselves down. But there's not really any obvious source of this fear. There's just some instinct that you two specifically pick up on, that Caillou picks up on a little bit after that. Something is different. You're not really sure what.
Something in the wind.
It's given that it's an overcast day, there isn't really like, and not to like refute what you said, there isn't really any wind. It doesn't really seem like it's necessarily going to rain. It's just kind of a gray day. It's not too hot, not too cold. It is roughly the middle of summer, since it has been about a year. And despite you being as far north as you are, it's not snowing or anything like that. It is, if anything, slightly warm. But this something that seems to be lacking. It would kind of be like growing up in Florida your entire life, and then getting in an airplane and getting out like in a desert, and not understanding that the reason why the air isn't thick here is because there's no humidity. There's just something different, and you don't know what.
Something odd here.
But you get to roughly the 500-ish range, and Hikao's tribe is kind of spread out a little bit into a couple of groups, and they're sort of hiding behind buildings, and he's kind of just standing in the middle of the road, like waiting for you all to show up. And you can, any of you have plenty of time to take in your surroundings. You see that some of the nomads are still flying up above. In the distance, like carried on the some brief wind, you might be able to hear the sounds of combat in the distance as the military has arrived. There may be the occasional crack of a rifle that echoes through the crater, but otherwise things are pretty still. And Hikao is just kind of standing there, like, waiting as you all walk up.
Ah,
All right.
let's get ready.
I take it everybody's ready?
My
Yeah.
tribe is as ready as they will be. We are simply awaiting your signal.
Alrighty.
After the storm, wait for the flare.
Then
When
so
it
we
dies
go.
down.
You still going in there, Caillou?
Of course.
Then
Be
we
swift, my
await.
friend.
All right.
Alright.
Well, so Caillou's moving forward. If you want to stealth, now would be the time to roll it.
Yep. Let's see. Foresight.
Yeah, you have advantage on everything.
Yep.
I do want to say that I had a song for this a long time ago, and I know that I did, but I lost it, and I've never been able to remember what it was, and it's bothered me to this day.
Terrifying.
Oh,
Ho ho ho!
All right, almost a perfect roll.
mm-hmm. This is starting off tonight good.
So Caillou kind of starts off up ahead and kind of moves into sort of the shadow of one of the buildings right there in the street, and you all just lose sight of him.
Wow.
Oh.
Right,
All right, Caillou, where you going?
heading straight for Zoe.
Are you sure you know where he is?
No.
And I
Bodied.
Where you going?
he's in the center. Is there any like he's supposed to be absorbing, right? Can I detect any like faint traces of
Absorption.
You don't detect anything.
okay. I'm gonna head for the center. That's the best place I can. The tower. The tower.
Right. So, point of note, as you all have been moving through the city, as you could probably expect, there is a lot of like just leftover damage from when the spikes were here. There are just claw marks or like sections of the
Hold up,
roads
Doug.
that have been like dug up.
Real quick for the stream, how can I move your guys' names so we can get?
Yeah, there's a
In
there's a
the,
gear up in the top right. Click on that.
Okay.
right above the chat log.
And there are some options in there. What you want to do is scroll down to player video or avatar size and just make that names only.
And my buddy was also asking about the whole chat. Like, just scroll the chat down so he can actually see the latest rules.
Yeah, I was doing that too.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so player video size, just names, and then scroll the
Thank you,
chat
Nick.
down.
God bless.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that is much better.
Nope. Gotta click the text box, chat box. Oh, that too. There we go.
All right. That does also remind me that I need to go in here and go back into the map overlay and get rid of the stuff from earlier.
Right.
Go back to the correct layer. There we go.
So is this what we're gonna be looking at?
Yep.
Sick.
Yeah, I'm not much of an artist, nor am I very good at manipulating Roll20. So I pretty much use this the same way that we here, like in the apartment, would use the old battle mat, where people just kind of like draw stuff with, dry erase Sharpie markers, or like we have minis. I pretty much do the same thing here.
Old school D&D.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all good.
And just to make sure, the chat will move on its own, right? I don't need to keep
Yeah.
scrolling. It
Here,
should
let's
just go.
test.
Sweet.
Did it move?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, cool, good. All right, neato. So, yeah, there are still signs from when the spikes were here. And they get to be a little bit less prevalent as you move closer to the tower, especially once you sort of enter what used to be like the old marketplace, just this big sort of like circular plaza. But instead, there are still some depressions left over of like footsteps from that spire that you saw. And as you are looking for an entrance, kind of here on the ground floor, and you kind of walk around towards the south, you can see off towards the east these two very large depressions in the ground
almost like that spire had been standing in the same place for an extremely long time. But there is a like sort of main entrance that looks to be like an arch with a large keystone.
Well,
I go that way, I suppose. Let's see.
So even with just your passive, and
Oh.
considering the fact that you have reliable talent and all of that sort of thing,
Yeah.
as you sort of approach the door, you can see what looks like really circular footprints that are very different from other spikes, almost unmistakable as Zoe's
That's what I
footprints.
want.
And it seems almost like these depressions that are the footprints are where what used to be, like brick at one point before the erosion. So this is probably a route that has been taken many, many times exactly the same way to have formed these footprints. And those depressions actually continue even as you enter into the tower in this darkened area. There does seem to be at least some leftover architecture here and there of what would have been candelabra on the sides. Like this place was intended to be well lit and welcoming, but everything is just dark. Anything valuable seems to have been stolen a long time ago. It just all seems, long forgotten, even more than some of the temples you've been in. But for the moment, you don't really see anything as you enter. There are stairs that lead up to the next level. There is some leftover stone, what seems to be like furniture, almost like it was like a big waiting area or like a welcoming room. It's quite a large room. But there is also off to the west, over to your left, a circular staircase that goes down, and you can hear sounds coming from over there.
I'll head over to investigate.
What kind of sounds?
It's a bit difficult to make out what exactly it might be as you're that far away, but as he gets closer, it sort of almost sounds like somebody rubbing stones together, like small pebbles, almost like a crackling or a grinding noise. And as he sort of makes his way down the stairs, you start to get your first experiences of light since you've entered into the tower. There is this dull red light that just kind of swells up and then dies away, and swells up and dies away, almost to the cadence.
Eating spikes.
Almost to the cadence of your breathing. And as you make your way down this spiral staircase, the first couple of steps, there's a wall to your right, but then it kind of opens up as you move past, and you see the only basement floor. Everything that was once in here has either been shattered and moved over to the walls, or has crumbled to dust. And in the center, there is kind of like this pile of rubble, almost, that seems to have been built up. And it reaches almost to the ceiling, where you very clearly see Zoe standing atop the rubble. And he seems like he's got his hands up against the ceiling, and he's pushing up on the ceiling, and his legs are on this pile of rubble, and seemingly from nowhere, almost in the way that a spike does, this glow seems to be coming from his eye, that the eye is pulsing out this light, and then the light is dying away. And that grinding noise seems to be coming from Zoe's feet sort of shifting around as he's pushing down on this pile of rubble from above, and his entire form seems to just be shaking.
Well, lads.
How close am I?
You're probably a good 100 feet or so from him.
If you're up on top of the stairs and he's out like towards the center of the room on top of this huge pile of rubble, it's roughly 100 feet difference.
Way to make a
If
storm
I go
hopping
down to
in
the
a
bottom of the
tower.
stair, if I go down to the bottom of the stairway, how close would I be? Wait, no.
Hypotenuse, roughly 150, 175 feet. It doesn't react at all to you coming in.
No, but I need to get as close as possible. I need to be able to get my surprise round to move in. I cannot waste this.
You'll
I'm gonna-
make a storm form inside of a building?
No, that's the issue. I'm gonna have to lure him out. Which means surprise round and then book it. I'm gonna do my best to get within 35 feet.
So without using magic, that means you'd be climbing up the rubble, and he does not notice you. Like, there's no sign that he knows you're there. He hasn't moved. He's just like standing there, like hands on ceiling, jittering, and nothing else.
Alright, this is what I wanted. I'm gonna run up there, cast Shadow Blade at 5th level, and then attack him.
All right, make your attack roll with advantage.
Yep. Shadow Blade cast at 5th level. That's one of my slots down.
Shadow Blade.
See, my attack is.
And for what it's worth, for your features, he is surprised.
Thank you. Proficiency plus Dex
Nobody's
with
expects the
advantage.
motherfucking Inquisition.
Does that mean I get a +2 since he's surprised?
That's
Surprised would normally be advantage.
Oh, okay.
I will
Don't
say
forget
the only reason you are not automatically killing him, which is a thing that I prefer people to do when, somebody doesn't expect to be attacked at all and like they're asleep and a rogue just comes in and sticks their knife in somebody's throat. The only reason you're not killing him outright is because he's been constantly waiting for something to show up. He expected there to be a fight. He expected something would try and attack him.
Right.
So he is on guard, but he doesn't notice you.
Gotcha. Come on. No, I can't waste it. Come on.
Don't you
Okay.
have the hero thing where you can
I'm
add to
going.
your roll?
I'm going to waste it. Once per short rest, I'm going to hate myself later. It's a 20.
Okay. Using the boon, huh?
Yep. That's my stroke
What's
of
the
luck.
boon do?
Stroke of luck, level 20 rogue skill. Once per short rest, I can turn any one hit or save into a nat 20. So does my sneak
Dang.
attack double?
Yeah. It says roll additional weapon dice.
Okay.
Oh,
So let's see. Here we go. Since I casted Shadow Blade at 5th level, that means that was 4. So now
You're
that
Math,
is
boys.
okay. 8d8 plus
Numbers.
20d6 plus 4 plus my dex or double my dex. You said weapon
Plus your
damage.
dex. Yeah, the dex doesn't double.
Gotcha.
Okay, remember on crits you don't double your modifier. You just double the damage dice.
Now hold on. This is what I was going to be confused about. Are we just going to straight up double whatever I get at the end for Death Strike if it fails its Constitution save?
What is Death Strike again?
Starting at 17th level, you become a master of instant death. When you attack and hit a creature that is surprised, it must make a Constitution saving throw, DC 8 plus your dexterity plus your proficiency bonus, which would be 19. On a failed save, double the damage of your attack against the creature.
I'm going to put a screenshot of his roll into the chat.
Okay, and slash your ability. Okay, increase my dex strength by 1 once per turn. When I hit a creature with an attack that deals slashing damage, I can reduce the speed of the target by 10 feet until the start of my next turn. And when I score a critical hit that deals slashing damage to a creature, you grievously wound it, and until the start of my next turn, it has disadvantage on all attack rolls.
All right.
Okay.
PG, I'm gonna need you to ask you to fucking calm down over there.
This is his job.
No.
He is the rogue. Do not calm down. Go in.
I came here to see blood, not the enemies.
I came here to chew bubblegum
damage.
and to kick ass.
So that's 15. That's 115 because it's take away the 4, doubled.
230.
234.
Holy hell!
So here we go.
Speed is reduced by 10, and it has
What are you
disadvantage.
using? What are you using to attack him? Is it your Kusarigama?
No, it is my Shadow Blade that I cast at 5th level. I specified that.
Yeah. So you are using basically like a magically conjured weapon for a single strike, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Okay.
it lasts up to a minute, but yes.
Okay. So for this first attack, come in, stealthed, form the blade, and stab. And he is sort of like standing there, struggling, just kind of jittering around, like doesn't seem to have noticed you. Where do you hit him?
I want to stab him in his eye.
Just kind of like climb up the rubble, jump up from the rubble, and plunge the shadow blade directly into the stone. Point of note: the blade does not pierce the stone physically, but it sinks in all the way down to where you're gripping it. And
Ooh.
this thing's mouth just kind of splits open and it shrieks almost deafeningly, like legally not dealing thunder damage. And it, like it releases from the pose that it's been holding, and it just sort of starts to fall down the pile of rubble. And the whole time it's like falling down, and some of the rubble kind of goes with it in like this miniature landslide. The whole time it is just screaming in pain. Do you try to ride down with it, or do you stay up atop the rubble?
Ride down and deal the pain.
Do an acrobatics check and flip towards the stairs.
Roll it.
All right. Let's see. Scroll up. Where's my acrobatics? There we go. D20 plus 18. 28. Reliable talent.
Well, you have a certain cantrip that might help you actually accomplish that, because as you jump from the top of the rubble, as the pinnacle of it starts to crumble, you sort of start to fall through the air, and there's no physical way without magic you'd be able to make a jump that's 100 feet in that direction. But with your jump and your momentum, using your chain from your clan magic, you kind of swing across the gap, carry your momentum, and you almost hit the the wall that the stairs kind of form. But with the extra momentum, you kind of take like 1 or 2 steps up the sheer wall until you're like up on the stairs, and use the rest of your momentum to kind of like stop yourself, and you're on the stairs. Now that shrieking has stopped being so painful and has started being a lot more angry.
Yep. His speed is reduced. I'm using that. Catch me if you can. I'm running.
Dashing.
Dashing, teleporting. I'm in darkness right now. I'm allowed to teleport right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you book it. And you can sort of hear as you're running away this like shriek going from like I would actually like put my microphone down and do it, but it's 2 a.m. It goes from being this like frightened, terrified, in pain, shrieking to just enraged. And even after you had gotten to the stairs, the like rubble had sort of settled, and you start to hear more of it kind of like crumbling down, and a whole bunch of like scraping and like clawing and movement. And you could probably assume that he's starting to chase you, just by the sound of things. So you book it out, make it out to sunlight pretty quickly. I assume then you use your dimension door and teleport.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right
So-
to my team.
So
Pull out the gym. Variant, you ready?
yeah, there's just kind of like this little speck kind of like runs out from what from your guys' perspective is kind of like the close right side of the tower, and then boop, and Caillou's there with you.
Oh, so that's what it looks like.
Variant, now.
All right.
Oh, well
Put the
done.
hands together, get ready to cast it. Holding,
Doesn't
Raise
tell
the
you
gym to
saying.
the air.
and I am going to turn to Caillou. Once the storm is done, chain him. I have something special.
Gonna need more
I-
help for that. I really ticked it off.
I'll be having something to say to it myself. He pulls out the Canovo.
Don't go in just yet. Trust me.
That's fine, lad. Have your fun. I'll have mine.
All right, I'm
Not
basically
until you see it.
holding
Edward!
Storm of Vengeance ready.
All right. It does take a second or so. Like a couple of seconds before you see the only other like speck in the plaza just comes like scrambling out of the doorway, and it's tough to make out from the distance, but it does definitely look more red than the Zoe you remember.
It's a lot redder than usual.
You've never
Or
seen
were
him
my eyes
before.
playing on me.
Wait,
As
no,
soon
you
as
have.
you-
That's right. The
Yeah,
snow.
as soon as he comes into view, you're holding the spell, so the clouds, just as before, sort of spiral down deeper and turn that like black purple, and lightning starts to course through them, and the spell begins to take effect. I assume that Caillou, you're casting it as well, so it is
Yes.
especially vicious. So,
Yup.
since I didn't read it before, I'm going to actually read the effects of the spell this time,
Ooh, I have
because
the-
this is happening ×2 for the next minute.
Yep.
A churning storm
Nice.
cloud forms, centered on a point you can see, spreading to a radius of 360 feet. Lightning flashes in the area, thunder booms, and strong winds begin to roar. Each creature under the cloud, no more than 5,000 feet beneath the cloud, when it appears, must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 2d6 thunder damage and becomes deafened for 5 minutes. Each round, you maintain concentration on the spell. The storm produces additional effects on your turn. Point of note, as written, that means that each of these things now continues to happen in addition to the 2d6 thunder damage. The second round, acidic rain begins to fall from the cloud. Each creature and object under the cloud takes 1d6 acid damage. That is now every round following the second round.
Mhm.
You call 6 bolts of lightning from the cloud to strike 6 creatures or objects of your choice beneath the cloud. A given creature or object can't be struck by more than 1 bolt. A struck creature must make a dexterity saving throw. The creature takes 10d6 lightning damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. Point of note here, 2 different people are casting the spell. That means 2 bolts per round, 1 bolt per turn. Hailstones rain down from the cloud. Each creature under the cloud takes 2d6 bludgeoning damage. Gusts and freezing rain assail the area under the cloud. The area becomes difficult terrain and is heavily obscured. Each creature there takes 1d6 cold damage. Ranged weapon attacks in the area are impossible. The wind and rain count as a severe distraction for the purposes of maintaining concentration on spells. Finally, gusts of strong wind ranging from 20 to 50 miles per hour automatically disperse fog, mists, and similar phenomena in the area, whether mundane or magical.
Now, here's another thing. It's a concentration spell, but since I'm using it as an item, do I need to keep concentration on it?
You do need to maintain concentration on it.
Okay,
The
then that makes
stone
my shadow play
contains.
gone.
Yeah, the stone contains the magic to cast the spell, but you need to maintain the concentration on it. Which means I'm basically going to be sitting here for the next couple of minutes rolling saves and doing math. Give me a sec.
Sorry, not sorry.
Math. He's doing math.
When you're done with the storms, when they're done, let me know. I'll need the time to rush in there.
You
You'll
are still getting
know.
some serious kickback being this close to it. It's not like before where, because range is sight. So, like, Farron could cast this wherever he could see. You were a good, couple 100 to 1,000 feet away before when he used it. Right now, you are at 500 feet, and the storm reaches out to 360. So you're not suffering the effects of it, but you are getting some serious kickback of wind and rain here.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying I'm going in now. I'm just saying let me know when it's dying down.
Yeah, no, because Zelda would be like holding her hand up to like shield her eyes, and this is very violent.
Captain's
So
gonna come up and hold his hand over her.
9,
If anyone is noticing, Farian is grinning maniacally watching this just happen. Happen.
Are you having a good time, my
So, for starters, as I begin the math, he succeeded one save
one?
out of the 20?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
So now we want this 10 times. Please don't crash. Okay, so let's just go ahead and so 73 thunder damage. Start there.
Okay.
I need to roll this separately. Somebody might want to get a calculator for this next part.
Oh, a second. I'll pull you up. All right, go for it.
This is actually going to end a lot sooner than I thought.
Dang.
Now, hold on. That's the second round.
How much was the thunder damage again?
Third round. I'll be putting it all in the chat here. You'll just
okay.
need to somebody will need to do the calculator when it's
I'll
all
lie it.
actually rolled. That's 3, 4. Oh, I didn't need another plus sign there. 5.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, just casually nuking the final boss.
6.
Oh my god.
Well, I labeled the gym in my
7.
inventory potential game ender. I wasn't joking, and then Farian gets 2 casts of this?
8. I'm gonna end up having to throw out tracks of music at this point.
Technically, only
my
one
God.
cast because I gave you foresight.
Yeah,
6, 7, 8.
I even labeled it. Exclusive
9.
item, highly potent, confirmed game ender.
Not confirmed, but and 10. Okay, I'm just now getting done with the lightning bolt damage.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Maybe we should have
Sweet
only
heavens.
limited one person.
now we want to bump this back up to 20 again.
I'm sorry, Max.
No, don't apologize. I've done the math for this. 69 bludgeoning damage from the hail. And then I can keep that up there because it's that. And 78 cold damage.
All right, so you say you're gonna put it in the text?
Yes, I am.
All right.
So I'm going to remove this line up here. This is the thunder damage. I'm just going to add that in at the end. It was 73. So the bottom three there, the 69, 78, and 73, are different types of damage. The one long line of all the numbers there, that's all lightning damage. So if anybody wants to give us a solid total on what that damage actually is,
Oh, boy.
Yep, just post the
do
numbers
believe
and I'll
you're-
give you the number.
I do believe just eyeballing it that
All
you're above the intended threshold.
Okay, so you have a calculator out?
I got mine.
38 plus 31.
31 plus.
I got it.
37.
You got it?
Yeah.
Wait, say again.
355 thunder damage. Or electric.
Lightning.
Wait,
Yeah, from
wait
the
a
lightning.
second. Wait.
355 lightning.
Okay.
What?
One number at a time. 3 people were talking at once.
He already has the number. He already told it out.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
now,
never
is
mind.
that just the lightning damage?
That's just lightning damage, not the other 3 bottom ones.
All right, cool. Good to know, because from there we're going to be doubling damage as it moves to the next phase.
Oh,
Okay.
So
Excuse the fuck out of me.
the 69 plus 78 plus 73 is doubled because it technically goes over the damage, like over his health bar, and goes into the next phase. And as a rule for this, any damage that does that is doubled.
Okay.
So, again, 69 plus 78 plus 73, and double that.
okay.
I think I need another drink.
Hey, you guys planned this. Also, we're not done.
No,
I
hope
know,
we're
that's
not.
what.
440.
Okay.
440.
That's doubled. Well, yeah, that is the doubled. It was
So-
220.
Add that together, the 355 and 440. That's the total amount of damage that the double Storm of Vengeance just did.
795. Yep,
793 damage.
5.
95.
795.
So,
On top of the 200 what that Caillou already did?
so Caillou did something I didn't expect either. He pushed it out of phase 1. This deleted phase 2. So I don't get to play either of those songs. I am a little upset.
I'm sorry.
I'm okay with,
I'm
no, but I am
sorry.
okay with this. Because I didn't know how well or how poorly any of this would go, you know? I didn't know if anybody was going to be impulsive. It all has to play out in character, right?
My character's impulsive.
Uh-huh. So,
I mean, you did just
This
try to
time
sneak
it
up
paid
on
off.
Zoe. You have any idea how badly that could have gone?
I had
No comment.
intentions.
so this thing comes out of the tower and is pretty much immediately hidden behind what is quite literally 2 Storms of Vengeance happening in the exact same place at the exact same time.
I just imagine it walking out, looking up. Oh shit!
Oh no, it didn't even look up. It was sprinting towards Caillou. Like,
Ah!
but it is nowhere near fast enough to make it out in time. And then once the winds and whatnot kicks up, like it's basically unable to move to get out. So at the end of it, like, point of note, it is right on the edge of the storm. And what seems to be the leftovers of this creature, like, are kind of like clawing their way through the dirt just on the like border of where the magic was really taking effect. And as the storm dies away, you can see Zoe on the road. And what looks to be, instead of it being this odd stone creature, just like with Caillou's Heartstone, it seems to be entirely made out of like this thick ruby almost. But the thing is, there is a stone layer over it that seems to have been stripped away by the storm. And these crystals that had like jutted out from its head, much in the way that you had seen before, that had, you know, formed its teeth inside its mouth. It doesn't. If I had to give you an impression of this thing's like disposition as it's like clawing its way through the dirt towards you, it is not anger. It is fear and confusion.
Good.
Someone cast haste on me.
Oh, no.
Everybody roll insight, just to be safe.
Go ahead.
What is my insight?
Oh,
That's a flat roll for the captain.
That's a flat +1 for me. Oh boy.
Captain doesn't pick up on it. How about
A
Zelda?
flat +1, you say?
Yep.
That doesn't
30.
make any sense.
31.
I have +1 to wisdom.
Then that's not flat.
Farian picks up on it.
Hold on, let me see Sayuri here.
Oh, I pick up on it less than the captain.
Yeah, let's see Sayuri real quick. Captain doesn't get it. Zelda doesn't get it. Caillou doesn't. Boric doesn't.
Sorry, 3 + 6.
9.
So she gets a 9 modifier.
Oh dang.
Sounds about right.
And she's trained in it.
Yeah.
That does seem like it suits her. She doesn't pick up on it either. Farian, you're the only one who knows. Zoe's not afraid of you. Zoe doesn't seem confused by what you just did to it. It seems confused by what it's becoming. It sort of starts to slow down and stop. And as you're watching, the limbs that are still attached to this oddly misshapen creature sort of just drop off. Where the arms kind of thin down into the wide flat top of the body. Almost like what do you call it? Auto something. Auto amputation. Almost like auto amputation, the way that a lizard can
A lizard,
get rid of its
yeah.
tail. The arms kind of drop off, and that offsets its balance, and it kind of rolls sort of face first into the dirt, and then the legs drop off, and it resets the balance again, and then most of the bottom of the body kind of drops off and sort of crumbles into dust in the dirt, or rather on the eroded brick. And the only thing that's really left that has any kind of shape seems to be this ruby crystal that's kind of exposed underneath its tough skin. And as you all sort of watch from the dirt that the body kind of dropped into, these little white, what almost looks like the stalks of mushrooms start to form and grow up around the crystal. And they kind of join at the top and meld together a little bit, and then kind of join together towards the bottom. And more of the stalks start to sort of grow out from the sides of these white, little pieces coming up out of the dirt. And you start to realize that it's a rib cage and an arm. And the arm grips the bricks, and some of the bricks start to crack in its grasp. And it kind of starts to try to right itself as a head grows. And there's a vaguely humanoid skeleton beginning to form with this giant crystal in its chest.
Oh.
Okay.
Still got time for your other spell, Farian.
Yep. To which I'm basically going to start casting this. To which putting both my arms out from my sides, slowly glowing or lighting ablaze, as you see an arc of energy from both my hands start to glow, and I am going to basically cast what appears as a 20-foot radial sphere centered on that crystal. It is going to start pulling things in.
What's this one?
And lighting up. It's going to form a blazing orb.
Oh.
So this thing only partially formed, right? Initially is like gripping these bricks and cracking them in its grasp. It starts to lose its grip as it's starting to be like pulled back towards this spell that Farian is casting. And it kind of starts to form its other arm and claw at the bricks and try to pull itself away from the spell. But it doesn't have the strength.
Should I roll for the damage?
I would get started, yeah.
Just making sure. It is allowed to make a dex saving throw.
We'll see about that. 4 on the die. Ain't getting anywhere.
Okay, and because of the what was it, Foe Slayer, I am going to add my Wisdom modifier to the damage. And because of the... What was it called? Wildfire. Where is it? Enhanced Bond, additional D8. But 41d8 plus 5. Fire damage.
Okay.
As I am casting Solar Collapse.
Wait, what?
It is
on
his unique 10th level spell.
And I am going to be blazing and holding it for an entire minute.
It sounds absolutely terrifying.
Taking 2d10 for an entire minute? He's going to be taking 210 damage.
It's
round
going
for a
to be
whole
taking an additional 5d8 damage each round until it is extinguished.
Yeah,
It
so
has
that's another,
disadvantage on concentration checks.
that's another 50 d8 because it cannot escape the pull and it can't escape the area of the spell. So it can't put itself out. Which, again, there's going to have to be a threshold where I'm going to have to tell you what your damage is because you're going to go over the damage threshold.
Should I roll it all together, or...
Yeah, I would roll it all together. And I guess we hope that Roll20 doesn't crash.
Nah, I think it's more...
Okay!
Okay, let me get my calculator.
444
So,
fire damage total.
440 was the damage that went into this second phase already, before it was even formed. Plus 210. Let me see.
Plus 444.
And it cannot resist the fire, because Elemental Adept.
Took 444 damage.
And it is literally pulling in any loose objects, and it is just instantly being incinerated into this sphere.
It's not able to pull us in, is it?
I think we're
You're
too
not
far
within
away.
You're not within 100 feet of it, so no.
Okay.
Jesus Christ! How much are you fucking dropping on this thing?
Every last ounce.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Shut
The
up!
wrath of nature.
I'm not even gonna have any fun.
84 is what carries over into the next phase.
Oh my god!
So okay.
So
Alright,
let me
just-
paint this picture for you real quick here, so we understand what's happening.
Okay.
These two nuke the area, including the tower, around the center of the crater with the Storm of Vengeance. At the end of it, Zoe is trying to kind of like claw its way up the street towards you all. It seems a bit afraid. Arms and legs kind of drop off. The bottom part of its body kind of drops off. The center of its body becomes essentially this crystal that is now housed inside of the top half of a forming humanoid skeleton that starts trying to right itself and kind of sort of starts to reach out towards you before the gravity starts to take a hold of it, grip and claw over the bricks before it just singularity. And for the next minute, you do not see it anywhere. In fact, it's even hard to look at how bright the flames are. And for a full minute, Farian is just like concentrating on and containing this spell. And as the minute comes up, Farian,
I am basically clapping the energy from my hands together, and just the orb vanishes.
Like Callus
no
style.
Smoke, no, nothing.
So what was
Just
the
Emperor
full
Callus
damage in that?
wipe.
The full damage should be 884 from the double damage, through this phase into the next one. So if we go back, it's 355 for to get through the phase 2, and then beginning with the phase 3, 440 plus the 210 plus the 234 plus 84.
Yeah, okay.
Sweet damn.
So, yeah.
So far, we have
he
beaten the
gets
threshold
the
of.
clap, and this orb just kind of disappears. Now you're still close enough to see sort of what falls out of the singularity is a fully formed humanoid skeleton that just kind of slams into the bricks. Definitely seems like it's a lot more solid than regular bone.
He pressurized it within the depths of space.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this is the point where Zelda's gonna kind of start casting her spells and whatnot, because she's kind of getting the feeling that this isn't over. And the rest of you, pick up on that as well as soon as this thing kind of starts to try to stand itself up, and it seems kind of shaky on its feet, and then it collapses forward onto its chest, and without really looking up at all, it just kind of reaches forward with a shaky hand and puts its hand on the bricks and kind of pulls itself forward a little bit, puts the other hand down, and it just seems to be struggling to even stand up. But the note that we're pretty much going to end session on for tonight, and where we're going to have everybody roll initiative and all that sort of thing, is there's a shift in the wind. Or rather, the shift in the wind didn't go away. When Farian casts this spell that alters gravity and sort of pulls everything in, it was also pulling in the air around you. And so there was a wind blowing towards the center of this, crater towards his spell. That wind hasn't stopped, despite his spell stopping. And what seems to almost be this black cloud of dust and fog is starting to form around this skeleton, as just dust and debris are being swept through the city towards it in all directions. And it almost sort of seems to form this cloak around the thing that completely hides it, even to the point where it just looks like a formless cloud of smoke. But the smoke kind of starts to shift and elongate upwards a little bit, and 1 second it's down sort of in the plaza, and the next second it is in the road right in front of you. We'll have everyone roll initiative, and we'll call it there for the night.
Okay. That was
Holy-
fucking ridiculous.
That's not how I expected tonight to go at all. But that was fucking awesome.
You made this thing to be out to Armageddon, so we brought our anti-Armageddon weapons.
Yeah,
Yes.
Armageddon.
Dude, what the fuck? What the actual fuck?
Y'all dropped the goddamn
We kind of went
apocalypse on
DBZ
it.
for a little bit.
I'm a little disappointed in myself that I didn't have Morgan Sayeri reacting to that, because I absolutely should have, but I was legitimately just shocked at how many numbers were being thrown around that entire fucking time.
Yeah, now just in canon, they're both just standing there, mouth agape, staring at the fucking healthscape, going.
I think that was most of the people in the area.
Oh yeah, no, the rest of Hikao's clan, as much blustering as they had been doing, that they are going to be the ones to go and fight this thing, that if it's going to be the end of the world, it would be the ultimate prey to take down, and it would bring honor to their ancestors and so on and so forth. And they get there and they see that. Any of them that weren't afraid before are afraid now, and they aren't afraid of the thing in front of them.
Yeah, no, that's. Yeah.
Team ultimate attack.
First combo attack.
You
I've been
fool!
waiting
I
for
have
this.
34 alternate
Nothing
combos.
personnel.
Yeah, we
The
went from a
smell
nothing
ended.
personnel kid to a I've been waiting for this all-out attack.
No,
The spell ends, and he just goes, "Zero."
Oh god! Jesus Christ! Fuck!
Looks at newly formed limbs. Huh. Tickled.
No,
You should have aimed for that.
The thing just crawls
No.
itself out of the crowd and
Thanos.
fucking looks like a goddamn hollow.
We gotta have you roll initiative there, Azure.
Oh,
I-
Jesus
I-
Christ.
Hold on. Sorry.
No, mind you.
I guess
I-
saying Morik and Sayuri were just silent shock is acceptable. All right, Morik.
You can blame Max for this, but once a day.
A day?
A yeah. I know, me
10
and your
for
friend
Warwick.
were talking about that in the stream. He was like, yeah, no, your DM buffed the hell out of this spell. It was only supposed to be once a day. And I was just like, or well, once, like, period, once. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, no, that was supposed to kill him.
Oh.
Potential.
21 for Sayuri. And yeah, that's the thing about Max letting us go busted tier because of story over actual D&D rule set, which I appreciate. We are level 30. Does it show yet?
To put it in perspective, I have personally never seen a D&D game go above level 4.
Yeah,
Shit was
this isn't
nuts.
supposed to happen.
This is
Max
like
is homebrewing the fuck out of this.
Yeah, no. So for anybody who is in the chat who's not familiar, and for those of you that just got to witness that, I am the type of like storyteller and the type of DM who doesn't really like to plan ahead very much. I would prefer to just hash out the rules of my world, what is possible, what is not possible, how to make certain impossible things possible, and just kind of sprinkle in that detail everywhere. So when like I know that any other DM, this is exactly the same way. When you play with a DM, the DM is supposed to be the world, and you are supposed to be the players interacting with the world. It's not supposed to be the DM versus the players. It's supposed to be, you know, the DM and the players telling a story together. That is the way that I try to play D&D as much as possible. That doesn't mean that my players know everything about my world or ever get to see every part of the world. It just means that wherever they go, I get to expand the grid, so to speak, ahead of them. As they wander off the beaten path, we get to discover things together. This party has repeatedly pretty much defied the fate that I had envisioned for this world, in that they have saved characters that were not meant to live.
I'm sorry.
Several of them have lived through things that they probably shouldn't have. Specifically Caillou more than once, and then Caillou saved Zelda from something she probably shouldn't have come back from because of just dumb character decisions.
Some have achieved things with barely trying.
Yeah,
Max is
so
real-time world rendering.
yeah, so
He
pretty
is
much.
Unreal
Basically
Engine 3.
procedurally generating a D&D.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing. And Samblaze, like, so you understand, that this is what we're getting into with the Wednesday game. This is how I handle things. Like, they have reached this level of power because of their decisions. They are here when they are because of their decisions. Like, just because they didn't show up here today didn't mean that, suddenly the campaign would just randomly end at some point. It would just mean that something would happen here that they are basically about to be a part of, that they wouldn't have even known was going to happen. And it would have changed the world, and it would have been up to them to continue the campaign from that point or not, which I would think that they probably would have. But because they're here now doing what they are, they get a chance to influence the change that the world undergoes or negate it entirely. And especially after the display tonight, I'm a lot more optimistic about that than I was originally. I have done the math for all of this. I did actually sit here a couple days ago, and I was running numbers on the spells that were going to be cast and whatnot, and what the potential damage might be, and what we might be looking at. I had songs prepared for when something might go wrong or when something might go really well, so on and so forth. And I've had to throw out a couple of things because things have actually gone very well, and I appreciate that. So, I think we're having fun here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I just
we'll
callous
see where
clapped
this
the
goes.
bitch.
I'll see where this goes, because
this was supposed to be a 4-phase fight. We are through 3 phases already. Now, I'm not going to tell you, like, stuff about any of the phases because you didn't get to see any of the stuff that it was capable of, which means that phase 4 is going to be even more of a surprise than I
If the
originally
thing
intended.
gets to move, like Christ,
It'll get to move.
It'll
Yeah.
get to move.
It'll
No,
get
wait,
to move,
hold on.
and
It's
we
a-
will pick up next session, and you will, kind of get to see what I mean. Actually, I just noticed something.
I was about to say you didn't even burn any resistances or anything.
Wait. So when you said Zelda shouldn't have come back from it, full disclosure, if she had died, Mark would have died shortly afterwards. Because that would have turned into a one-man crusade.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
no, Caillou, as often as he has screwed up, he has had great successes, kind of like tonight.
Yes.
Where Zelda got captured because she just so happened to be the party member that ended up by herself in hostile territory that the party didn't know was hostile territory. And it could have happened to any of the party members. Like, this was something that I just had prepared for if they were dumb enough to split up. And one of them was singled out. It ended up being Zelda, which is my player character. Because I do play a character in any of my games, and I do play it like a character. It's just part of my DMing style. And so because she was the one to get captured and because of what happened, the rest of the party basically decided, like, okay, we're not sure that we can take on an entire castle full of people, so we're going to send in the sneakiest one of all of us, Caillou, and see if he can get her out alive. I ran a one-shot, and he did manage to do it. Like, he got her out alive, the both of them escaped, and if it weren't for him, she would have been experimented on and killed. So it was
Sounds
a
more like the
big
RP second by second. Speaking of
So-
which, post.
Fuck off.
Oh, well. It's really been quite a story. I gotta admit, playing this character has been very, very, very fun.
It's really funny because I did bring up, I forget how long ago. It would have probably been like halfway through this game. I did bring up a while ago, hey, let's stream the D&D thing. And then everybody was kind of like, there's only a way to make that entertaining if you don't know what you're doing. And just like kind of apprehensive about it. And then I brought it up a few weeks ago, and we were all just like, you know what, fuck it. It's the last couple of sessions. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, so the reason why I have that opinion before and the reason why I'm okay with it now is I am used to watching streams of D&D on Twitch that are like way higher quality in Roll20 than this because they use modules. I'm used to watching Pathfinder on Twitch specifically. And the guy that I watch has been at it for a lot of years and has had some lower quality stuff in the past and has worked his way up to the point where he is now an official streamer for Paizo, the creators of Pathfinder. And he's been running a first and second edition Pathfinder stream. So I'm used to, like, having multiple boards active and like players being able to move around in, like, the taverns and buildings and having fog of war and having, like, line of sight and having lighting and all that sort of stuff. And I pay for all of those features, but I don't use them because I'm not 100% sure on how to use them. I would rather run my game in a way that I'm confident and just use it like, it's a big, dry erase board that just happens to be digital, than try to go through all of the growing pains of potentially screwing over entire sessions because things just don't work out, So that's what I'm used to. That's why I was apprehensive about streaming it before. I'm okay with streaming it now because I've kind of just gotten over that. And I'm like, if anything, I would like to at least have some kind of record of the end of this first campaign. And so, I've like picked out music and whatnot, and me and Jack got together a little bit, and we at least made sure that this whole thing would work out. And so far, it seems to be going pretty well. And I do appreciate that you're, giving me the time of day on what is your stream and what are your days to be streaming to allow us to at least have this record.
Oh man, we just have a record that we'll be uploading to YouTube of fucking Kutch over here deciding no, this thing doesn't get to walk anymore.
Bloody bug
You
man.
don't get to play.
Yeah, some perspective. That is a 10th level spell, right? He is level 30. He can do that once a day because it is a spell slot that he gets back on a long rest. Zelda has a 10th level spell that is her like thing that she described about like potentially swaying a spike.
Level 9 magic is supposed to be world-changing magic. If you know anything about D&D, especially about 5th edition specifically, world-changing magic is like being able to bring back people that are dead for 200 years, being able to grant literal wishes, being able to stop time, giving Caillou the ability to see into the immediate future and have advantage on everything for 8 hours. Like, these are very big deal spell. I mean, like Zelda, for example, has power word heal, which is just, I don't care how much HP you have, you're at full HP. Shit like that, right? So a 10th level spell has to be even more impressive than that. It has to go beyond world changing. We basically just saw Farian take eldritch horror levels of magic into his hands. That, like, I really want to put that in perspective. Right now, he is drawing on power that is, like, basically on par with what the mana is capable of herself. So, like, now this it does
By
come
the way,
at the
plug
cost.
for Max's book.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. If, like, do I need to go grab that link again? I guess I'll go grab that link again.
go
Hold on.
chuck the link in the stream
Fucking
file again.
shitty formatting.
Make it a
all over
bot
first
command.
edition. Make it a bot
I
command.
didn't think we'd
Yeah,
have many of these streams, and now we're 3 in. I didn't think it'd be
I'm
super
gonna
relevant.
chill.
There'll probably be like 1 or 2 more, and that'll be it, given the current pace of things. But so there's the book. The
We'll
formatting is bad.
fucking go. No, the epilogue will go as long as I fucking want it to. Fuck
I-
As
you.
long as
fair.
I
Yeah.
fucking...
That is
Fair.
fair.
Why are
I
you
will
hold on a
run the
second. Why are you
epilogue
throwing in
eventually.
so many of that link? Holy shit.
You can't miss it.
Can't miss.
It's not the entire page yet.
It's
No, I'm not going to make it an entire page.
Please don't.
But yeah, so there you go.
Man is the
the-
nuke wasp.
Yeah, so there are some problems that I have with it that, you know, like I did rush it out, so there's still some, like, you know, spelling errors in there. The formatting still isn't perfect. That's still the first edition. All that stuff has been fixed in the second edition version, but the second edition hasn't been released because the friend of mine that I had helping me with the publishing software hasn't been paid yet, and I'm not going to even contact him until I have the money to pay him. So it's not that he's told me that he's not going to work until I pay him or anything. He has actually told me that, hey, whenever you're ready, let me know when the next one or when we're going to do more of this. He's completely open to it, but I am not willing to put him through more work, even if it is just a weekend for him, until I have given him the pay that I believe he deserves. I have made roughly $200 off of the book from the sheer number of people that have randomly bought it and the amount of shilling that my mother and people like Azure have done for me, like, to which I am
Huh.
eternally grateful.
Or
Like,
shilling. Did you tell me to say shilling?
You
Yes.
said shilling. I'm fucking letting you
Only
use
$20.
my screen to
like,
advertise.
exactly.
Oh shoot!
Well,
99 on
nice.
Kindle.
it is thanks to all of my friends that I have had even the level of success that I have. Now the illustrator for that,
I'll use my platform to get your book out.
like, I've paid her, like, you know, I've paid out half of the money that I want to have paid out for this, because I'm not just going to hand them like $20 or something and go, yeah, there's your royalty from the
Why
$200
does
that
the stream keep dropping? Is the stream dropping for anyone else?
It is. I ended
Stuff.
up downloading something in the background.
it's
Oh,
not a,
it keeps pausing.
Oh,
yeah, it's
pausing?
just for us on our end.
It's pausing for like 5 seconds at a time
Let
randomly.
me just pause that download until further notice.
But yeah,
I just
Yeah.
don't think this outro will go as far as...
we'll end
as
here. I appreciate everybody showing up. Sorry to the couple of people that just
Here-
showed up here at the end all of a sudden.
Let me
Went
just
from, like,
say,
6 to 11, but
you shouldn't worry about the format of a D&D stream, like how it's going to look from people watching on Twitch. Because the thing that people care most about in D&D isn't going to be how good the stream looks or how much interesting fight mechanics are going on or the visuals. They're going to care about the story. That is the thing. That is 99% of why people love D&D. If you have like the craziest batshit insane stuff like what we just had here, they're not going to ask, why is the DM allowing this player to drop the sun on someone? They're going to ask, how did they get to this point?
What the fuck happened?
Why is the DM allowing it?
Read the book. You'll
How
know.
did they hit this point? How is the world allowing shit like this to happen? And why the fuck is this thing still alive after that?
yeah.
I
That's
know,
the
right?
biggest question, for as much as Kutch and PJ just dunked on it, how is it still alive?
It's still alive. There's still
we'll-
more.
We'll be getting into
It's
that
a
next
final
time.
boss.
It should be next Tuesday. Look forward to it.
Yeah,
I love it.
everyone coming out. I appreciate everyone coming out. Thanks for hanging out in chat as well. And
hold
we'll pick
on.
this up
I'm
next
finding. Who should we drop on? Who should we?
Oh yeah, somebody in the chat just pointed out that it was freezing too. It should have stopped now. I think it hasn't happened again since you did that. So I think we're good.
No, it should be fine now.
Yeah.
So
the
again,
VOD
sorry
okay, I
about
think.
that. The
I
VOD
should have
was
mentioned
fine.
that.
Okay, I think,
Yeah.
but,
Let's oh hey, look, Zizix is farting around.
Is he on Dragon Ball?
Yeah,
He
he's on
was
Dragon
laughing
Ball.
at Roshi earlier.
Yeah. Well, let's go drop on him.
Good night.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
chill.
subscribed to him. Thanks for chilling, chat.
Yeah, no, seriously. So by the way, here, hold on. Let me give context. Also, hello. The fuck did the game masters smoke? All right, so to put things in perspective, just to give everybody a quick shout out. Hello, I am not the game master. As you could tell, my voice does not match up with the game master. Game master, speak your piece again.
yo.
All right, so this is that guy. This is just my stream. I typically stream other fighting game related content and that sort of thing, or whatever we're feeling with at the time. It just so happens that I have a platform that can record things, and he has something that is, well, as we just saw, worthy of fucking recording. So I sat down and went, hey, let's just take Tuesdays. I got some time. It'll let me, do my own thing while you guys do their thing. And I'll just record you guys and stream you doing this. So here we are, and it'll probably be a relatively consistent thing at the very least until this game is done. I might, high quality weirdness. I might myself, good old Jack Hollow here, be involved with a D&D stream eventually, but
By this DM, no.
by this DM, yeah. So it'll be hopefully on the same level of craziness, but as it is right now, I'm just letting him use my stuff as a soapbox, and I could not be more excited, because this, I did not think, would be nearly as entertaining. I thought I'd be half asleep by now. But no, I just got to see a monster get dunked over 1,000 damage in the span of 5 minutes.
It was longer than 5 minutes. Hold up.
Fine. You know what?
Universe,
You know what?
it
Yeah,
was
in
under
game
3
time.
minutes.
In game
It was 2
time,
minutes.
that thing just got ripped apart. But
Yeah.
we're getting back to the point. Anyway, thank you so much. This will
It
happen.
only got attacked by 2 characters
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah, we still have an entire party left. This will happen every Tuesday, so if you do want to hit the follow button, I'll greatly appreciate it, and Max will greatly appreciate it, because I'm sure he didn't expect anybody to give half as much of a shit as they do, considering we've had over 10 people at a time watching us just dick around on Roll20. So again, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. With that being
Hey Jack,
said,
will you do?
Thanks
up?
for
Will you
letting
do
us
me
use
the,
your stream.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah. But that being
Jeff.
said, yes.
Would you do me the honor of letting me do an outro for you?
Oh fuck! I don't have an
Or
actual
like
outro.
record something.
Let him.
Alright.
He voiced out. Let him.
All right, hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
That's
Prep.
fine.
Prep the raid.
Don't
Oh,
worry, you won't be
yeah.
singing.
No singing.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. Singing's pretty cool. I could dig singing. All right, go for it.
You're watching Jack Hollow stream. Catch in for more. Follow, like, and subscribe.
We actually have one of those buttons. I'm really surprised about that one too. Anyway,
Toonami level shit right there.
let's,
Okay, then.
let's do it. All right. Have yourselves a wonderful night.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That wasn't at all what I was expecting in any way, shape, or form.
Well, basically Hiroshima and Nagasaki and Zo as he comes out of a building.
What the fuck, man?
It's not wrong.
I'm not you got there.
I am
a little
not
boy.
disappointed in any capacity or annoyed. I'm just shocked.
Fucking callous clap.
I'm still not done yet either.